of this new season. They'll line up on the halfway line out in front of us. The first game for these two of a new campaign, and the aim is the same. You're listening to Talksport 2, Stockport County versus Bolton Wanderers, live from Edgeley Park with myself, Cameron Pope, and Mickey Gray, the former England international, alongside me. We've seen some stories so far in the opening weekend of League One and League Two. Luton winning on arrival on Friday night in the curtain raiser. Also a soft landing for Cardiff after relegation. They'll fancy themselves to be in the mix come the end of the season. Huddersfield won big yesterday after some eye-catching recruitment. There was a win for Bradford over Wycombe, who were in the mix for the playoffs at the end of last term, and so that's a warning to sides who are up there in season 2024-2025. That counts for little now, as the slate is wiped clean. The Stockport players all in blue shirts with a white trim, white shorts and blue socks go away to our right-hand side. They're going to defend the Cheadle end in the first half. It's packed out with home supporters. As for Bolton, they break away to where their away fans are gathered away to our left. Uncovered railway end of the ground. They're in for a bit of a showering today, if the forecast is to be believed, as the referees make their way out to the middle. I'll go through the teams for you as we're setting up the pre-match formalities. And so Stockport with Corey Adai in goal. There was some discussion on whether he'd get the nod over Ben Hinchliffe, the veteran stopper. A back four of Owen Dodgson in on a season-long loan from Burnley. Callum Connolly, Ethan Pye and Barnsley loanee Corey O'Keefe. In midfield, Oliver Nord wearing the armband with Callum Camps and Owen Moxon. The wide men, Jack Diamond, and the incoming Malik Mothersill, Kyle Wotton, will lead the line. 13 goals in all competitions last term. On the bench for Stockport, some notable names. Hinchliffe, the goalkeeper. Joseph Olowu, new signing, as is Nathan Lowe in on loan from Stoke. Lewis Fiorini, Danny Andrew, Odin Bailey and the young Che Gardner. As for the visitors, they're also going to be 4-2-3-1. Teddy Sharman Lowe is in for his debut on loan from Chelsea, having played for League Two champions Doncaster last season. At the back, Max Conway makes his Bolton debut at left back. Josh Dacres-Cogley is on the other side, with newly named captain Owen Toll and Chris Farino at the heart of defence. New signing from Hull, Xavier Simons joins Aaron Morley in sitting midfield behind John McAtee. Brighton lone man Amario Cozier-Dewberry is wide on the right, with Carlos Mendes Gomez on the left, and another Hull City man on loan, Mason Burstow, starts up front. Sub-goalkeeper for the visitors, Nathan Broom. They've also got George Johnston, Josh Sheehan, Thierry Gale, another new man, Jordi Osei-Tutu, Joel Randall and Ethan Arakan. As the players break for their two team huddles, goalkeepers are involved as well. Mickey, the start of a new season. It's almost the end of the start of the new season. This rounds up the first round of games in League One, and I guess we're different this year around. There's no Birmingham, there's no Wrexham, there's no immediate standout candidate you'd expect for promotion.
No, there isn't, and I think that's why it's going to be so competitive in League One this season. Look, it's the first day of the season. I think the only thing that's missing is the sunshine, which you normally get, but the pitch is brilliant, brand new kits, the players will be absolutely buzzing to be out there and hoping to get off to a fantastic start in the new season. Well, we won't see much of the sunshine. We're underneath the old canopy here in the largest of the two long stands opposite the pop stand, and Stockport have done a good job of filling their seats on the opening day. Always bringing good gates here, and we're off and underway at Stockport who've started this. Oliver Norwood back to his goalkeeper as a new season in the third tier kicks off for Stockport County and for Bolton Wanderers. Will they remain third tier sides at the end of it? Stockport flirted with progression into the Championship, a miraculous rise from the National League North a few years ago. As for Bolton, they've had their own issues in recent seasons, mainly financial, that drop into the fourth tier. And after two unsuccessful playoff campaigns, they missed out by a whole 10 points in the season of change last campaign. Is it going to be different this time? Stockport in blue, kicking from right to left as we look at it in this first half. Bolton all in a pink chain strip, and they have a throw-in on halfway to be taken by Max Conway. 45 seconds in. You're listening to Talksport 2 as Mason Burstow goes to ground in trying to control. Forward comes Conway here for Bolton, into a confrontation with Norwood, who looked to have got the final touch for a moment. Bolton wanted a corner. It's only going to be a dead ball, signalled by the referee, Elliot Bell, who was promoted to a few championship games last season, only his third campaign on the EFL. One of a few newer faces as Adai goes long with his goal kick over halfway, looking for the tall figure of Kyle Wotton. 0-0 as Owen Toll, sporting the armband, watches a bouncing ball back to the yellow-clad Teddy Sharman Lowe, who impressed last season
Played every game in League Two for champions Doncaster. But his distribution's let him down this time, though, as the clearance only goes halfway outside his own half, and then a poor ball from Stockport sees a throw-in, and Blusher's saved. No goals. Dacus Cogley to take it halfway inside his own half, and a slick and greasy playing service to play on today, as Norwood flicks over the head of an on-rushing opponent. Out to the right-hand side it goes for Malik Mothersill. With his bleached blonde locks, cuts back up the line, trying to find a cross against Carlos Mendes Gomez. He's got a throw-in, and Stockport are on the attack at 0-0, 2 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's been a very bright start from both sides, I have to say. Ollie Norwood trying to dictate things in that midfield area for Stockport, albeit giving the ball away, but you can see Bolton's intent is try to get the full-backs over the halfway line in Conway and Cogley as quick as they possibly can, but direct football at the moment from Stockport, trying to put pressure on this back line of Bolton.
So the throw-in, 10 yards from the corner flag. Stockport attacking towards the Bolton fans, into the area it went. Heads went up from both sides, and Callum Camps looked like he might have got something on it. Bolton have played away though, and while they had cleared it, there's a man down in back play. It's I think it's Owen Toll, who looked to take a whack to the head as he tried to clear that. Referee's just making sure he's okay, and he is. And so we're going to go back for a drop ball from the goalkeeper. Now there's a new procedure about these this season. I was reading the other night, so now if players stop with one team in possession in their own penalty area, it's automatically dropped to their goalkeeper. Apparently that's a change, I'm not so sure. And we'll get underway from that restart after 3 minutes on TalkSport 2. It's Teddy Sharman-Lowe sporting the number 1 for his new club. A lot thought of him by parent club Chelsea, just 22. And so important for these young players. We've seen so many make it further up the leagues. You look back at players like Joe Hart who've gone to play on for England and starting out at teams like Shrewsbury, Notts County, bringing through future internationals. And this is where they get the grounding in the game.
Oh, you're completely right, Cameron. It's the best place to learn your trade. Just get thrown into the deep end. If you're inexperienced, you know, there's no hiding place in a stadium. You've got a crowd behind you and you just want to impress, and it makes you grow, it makes you age. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. I look at this starting 11 from Bolton. It looks a lot younger than what I see from Stockport. We've got a lot of experience in there as well, blended with a little bit of inexperience, which is great. Mothersill, who's come into the starting 11, he looks a live wire, doesn't he, over on that right hand side. They're trying to get him involved in the game as much as they can early on in the stages.
0-0. Bolton halfway inside the Stockport half, coming forward far side there left here. Looking for a way through was Carlos Mendes Gomez into the penalty area for Kozia Dewberry. Went to the byline, tried to find McAtee on the cutback, only half cleared, and that's going to be a corner. And that's the first time we've seen Bolton flex their attacking muscles.
Yeah,
0-0.
very good from Mendes Gomez. Showed his pace, a little bit of quality over on that left-hand side, trying to chop the ball back onto his right foot. The little reverse pass into Dewberry. You can see he's a little live wire inside that 18-yard area. That's something certainly Stockport have to keep an eye on.
So a corner for Bolton, far side there left, to be taken by Aaron Morley. Pink shirts in the penalty area, a couple of them in the 6-yard box. It was deep towards Dacus Cogley, only half cleared. Oh, the shot off the post, back in. Dacus Cogley trying a second effort. Oh, it was thundered at goal from deep there. Xavier Simons it was with a shot, and to give credit to the goalkeeper, I think Adai got merely a fingertip on it, touched against the base of his post. It came out to Josh Dacus Cogley, his shot was blocked, and Stockport have managed to gather 0-0. Bolton with the best chance so far.
Yeah, really lively from Bolton from the set piece there as well. Super effort from Simons. And I have to say, it looked like he dove down in slow motion. It was going wide, it skidded off the surface. We've had a lot of rain here, as we talked about, in the build-up to this game. But he did get down and got a vital touch just to knock it onto that post, and eventually Stockport clearing their lines.
And so Corey Adai will be happy to have a bit of time on the ball. Had to fight for his number 1 jersey last season with Ben Hinchliffe, who's been with him since the non-league days. And both sides having to deal with injury in the opening weeks of the season. Stockport have already lost new left-back from Peterborough, Teo Edun, to injury. Not a short-term one either, said Dave Challoner. Saying prognosis on midfielder and captain Lewis Bates. As Bolton bring the ball over halfway. At 0-0 with Max Conway. Back to Owen Toll in his own half, and in fact all the way back it will go to Teddy Sharman-Lowe. Goes along on the right boot looking for Kozia Dewberry, who takes it on his instep. 30 yards out, can't find a man in pink. Stockport will recycle it And here is Norwood inside his own half. Oh, he's giving it away, he's taking on too much. Burstow pinched it, and then the referee was a little tardy in coming, but did blow the whistle. And it is a free kick and maybe a let-off for Stockport County with the game goals.
Well, I think it was. I mean, you're talking about one of the most experienced players on the pitch there from Ollie Norwood. He knew he had 2 or 3 Bolton players around him. Got to get rid of the ball.
And he has got rid of the ball from the free kick, long towards Mothersill. Down the line as Corey O'Keefe up towards the corner flag. Out for a throw and it goes. Good sliding challenge there to stop the danger. And so Stockport with a throw-in, conceded by Conway, but a good option from the man on debut. Just 21, the Bolton left-back. Spent last season out at Crewe in League 2. One of 5 debutants named by Stephen Schumacher. Opening game of his first full season in charge after taking over from Ian Evitts at the halfway stage last season. The ball with Adai, Stockport goalkeeper, no score. You're listening to Cameron Pope and Mickey Gray on TalkSport 2. Long ball from Stockport over halfway. Kyle Wootton's going to chase this, and Sharman Lowe's come a long way, and he can't use his hands here. He's outside his penalty area, and then with the ball eventually going dead, he was wrestled down to ground very unsportingly by Kyle Wootton. The referees now come and got involved. The goalkeeper ended up in an untidy sprawl and a tangle with the advertising hoarding. It's right in front of the Bolton fans who've not taken it well either. And some language we can't repeat on radio is being aimed at Kyle Wootton. No need for that, really.
Well, I've got to say, Cameron, I think he had every right to go for that. I mean, if you look at Sharman Lowe, he's tried to shield the ball out from at least 10 yards inside his own 18-yard area, or just outside, so he couldn't pick it up. And I think if you're Kyle Wootton, if you're a striker, your manager would be absolutely furious if he didn't try and make that challenge. I think the problem is that Sharman Lowe has actually gone to ground. He's landed on what they have around the outside of the pitches. They have extra balls, so you can pick one up and keep the flow of the game going. I think he's more landed on that, and maybe next to where one of the ball boys are. Yes, he's in a bit of agony, but I'm sure he's going to get himself back to his feet. But absolutely, I think you're a centre forward. You've got to put yourself in that challenge.
Well, it was really awkward for the goalkeeper. It's one of those balls that goes parallel to the shortest line of the penalty area, so he followed it all the way from outside his 18-yard box down to the goal line, couldn't touch it with his arms, waited for the ball to go dead. He'd managed that. He was jockeying it like a defender, if anything, and it looked like Wootton lost his patience a little bit. Might have been a little barred, not lots in it, but as you say, Mickey, rightly spotted. He's tripped on a spare ball, sat on a cone next to the byline, next to the dead ball line. And the Bolton fans behind the goal are still giving stick to Kyle Wootton, who will have thought it was fair game, but a bit of drama and a bit of needle, but no score after 9 minutes on TalkSport 2, 0-0. Got plenty more coming up for you next weekend as the Championship joins the party. Birmingham taking on Ipswich, their first game back in the second tier, both sides first game back in the second tier. That's an 8 p.m. kick-off, a TalkSport exclusive. And then on Saturday at 12:30, another TalkSport exclusive in Southampton versus Wrexham, while on TalkSport 2 we'll have Coventry against Hull City. And Sharman Lowe is now back on his feet, being clapped by those Bolton fans who travelled in good numbers. A short trip this one, and just to the other side of Manchester, as the goalkeeper pulls his socks up, physically and maybe figuratively, and gets ready to start play with a goal kick. So 0-0, best chance of the game so far has gone to the away side. New signing Xavier Simons, cracking the foot of the post of Corey Adai's goal after 5 minutes. And after that brief interlude, we are ready to start again. Taking up a central berth in his goal, Sharman Lowe kicks high and wide towards the left flank and clears it on the full. And it's out for a Stockport throw-in to be taken by Corey O'Keefe, a man in from Barnsley on a season-long loan deal. Conor Horahan allowing him to come out and play for a side that Barnsley will be hoping to threaten in League One this term. Long ball forward for Stockport. This one almost found its way to Callum Camps. Might have a second bite of it. It wasn't dealt with by Farino on the edge of his box. And then at the second time of asking, the defender is able to chest back to his goalkeeper. No physical confrontation this time for Sharman Lowe to deal with. And after 11 minutes of this game, it is 0-0 between Stockport County and Bolton Wanderers. Bouncing ball halfway inside the Stockport half. Cleared by Farino. Over the halfway line up towards Burstow. Thought he was manhandled there by Ethan Pye. Referee was happy with it. And Stockport start from square one with the goalkeeper. Whips out right towards Corey O'Keefe. Rides a challenge well. Advantage played, says the referee. Into the Bolton half now with Dodgson. Down the near side left flank. Now here comes Diamond. Men in Stockport blue in the centre. On his left foot to the byline. Ran into Dacres Cogley and will gratefully accept the corner. 0-0 and a corner to Stockport County.
Well, it's Stockport's best move from back to front. Started off with a Dyer, lovely little pass out to the right hand side, lovely little reverse pass from Moxon in that midfield area to this left hand side, and Jack Diamond doing what he does best, taking fullbacks on, threatening to try and get his ball in the area. Fantastic play.
So Oliver Norwood is going to take this near side, the Stockport left. Most of the blue shirts in the penalty area are crowded around the penalty spot, and indeed the referee has seen something he doesn't like. He's come across to have a word, I think, but Ethan Pye of Stockport. Might have been a little bit of pushing. We've got Malik Mothersill deep in the 6-yard box. It's aimed in towards him. Defensive header out towards Camps on the edge of the box. Puts it back in for Stockport. Can't find a teammate. And that ball has gone dead for a goal kick. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was a strange corner, wasn't it? When you look at the setup, it was like, 8 or 9 players all in. You could throw a blanket over them, couldn't you? It was like they were queuing up for a pint of lager at half time, wasn't it? And it's like trying to get there first. But the ball into the area, it's got to be kind of... Somebody's got to just try and commit to try and get forward and get their head on it first if you possibly can.
I wonder what Dave Challoner would say about a pint of lager at half time. Throw in for Bolton, or for Stockport I should say, halfway inside the Bolton half, to be taken by O'Keefe, who's seen plenty of the ball down that right flank. In short he goes to Owen Moxon, who's seen comparatively less of it. Up towards Wootton, who will chase. The defenders got there first. And given away there by Conway. Stockport coming forward this time with Mothersill wide on the right. New signing trying to make inroads, and he's found Moxon with his head up. Corner of the area, crossed into the box. Was there a handball? Referee was well placed and said no. It looked to strike John McAtee on the body more than anything, and I thought his arms were in by his side. It would have been harsh. And out for a corner it is. Stockport's turning up the heat on a grey day in Greater Manchester. 14 gone on TalkSport 2 and currently at 0-0.
Yeah, he's done well there, McAtee. Good defending.
And there might be more of that needed because Norwood is prepped for an outswinger far side the Stockport right. More of an even spread in the penalty area to aim for. Defensive header again though, this time Owen Toll. Doesn't drop favourably for Stockport on the edge of the area. They'll have to start deeper with O'Keefe as Diamond checks over his shoulder, looks for a way through, held it too long and allowed Cozier Dewberry to nick it off him and play it out for a Stockport throw. Still goalless, coming up to the quarter hour mark. Game seems to have settled into a bit of a pattern, and the sun's come out, would you know, after a downpour as it turned up in the car park at Edgeley Park this morning. As Norwood plays back towards halfway. Bit of a lucky ball that was played in the end by Ethan Pye. His first effort cannoned straight into the opponent burst stop. And the second came back to him. He was able to just concede the throw and gather some defensive territory. No goals. Throw in on halfway, taken by Dacres Cogley of Bolton. Went up the line looking for Cozier Dewberry. The lone man crowded out. Cannons off him, and it will be a Stockport throw this time to be taken by Dodgson. Looking for his options in front of us in this main stand. One of them is Wootton, tight to the touchline, aims for him and skimmed away off the defender Toll. It will be another Stockport ball, and they've gained around 40 yards. You can see the Bolton Wanderers touchline staff out offering some pearls of wisdom. Dave Conlon, I can see down below me for Stockport as well. As Bolton clear their lines long into the Stockport half. Sent back the way it came by Connolly. Playing against his former club today. Spent half a season at Bolton in his Everton days as a loanee. Not too many have crossed the divide between these two, despite the geographical proximity. Spent many years out of the division, with Stockport's dip out of the EFL and Bolton's time in the Premier League. Here is Toll. Bolton skipper on the edge of his own penalty area. Dacres Cogley going the ground route towards halfway. 16 gone, 0-0. Here is Xavier Simons down the left-hand side for Bolton, still in his own half. Bolton taking time here to build a move, and they've spotted some room for Dacres Cogley near side the Bolton right. Chest down into space. Ahead of him is Cozier Dewberry crossing to the near post. It might have been a shot actually, and Adai does well to thump it behind for a corner. Goalless.
Yeah, they look really lively, Bolton, down this right hand side with Cogley and Cozier Dewberry, who looks a little live wire. Gets himself into the area, get away from his marker. Just couldn't quite wrap his right foot around that to bring it back towards the penalty spot. But you can see he's got that pace to get it behind this back line of Stockport.
So a corner for the pink shirted away side. Bolton have rattled the frame of the goal so far. Can they go one better through Aaron Morley's corner? Going along the ground as well. Oh, and the move nearly worked too. Attacking it was Dacres Cogley, and he overshot it. And it cannons off his heel, if anything. He never got a good connection. He skews it across goal, and it's gone for a Stockport throw-in by their own corner flag. Unlucky, you can see what they were trying to do. Doesn't come off, and still no goal.
Well, that's a massive chance. It has to go down as a huge chance for Cogley. Brilliantly worked from the corner. You could just see there Farino just nudged one of the Stockport defenders out the way, and it fell perfectly into the path of Cogley. He's just got to make good connection with it. It's like he's tried to guide it into the corner rather than just locking his ankle and just hitting the target. But that's a massive chance. Bolton have had the best two opportunities in the game so far.
It looked like a pre-worked routine as well, as Bolton win a free kick just inside the Stockport half. And I guess if the defensive side learns, that's something you can only really try once in a game.
No, absolutely. Look, the referee and the linesman, they can't watch every individual player in that 18-yard area. That's why I said Farino does really well. Just shoves somebody out the way, and it just opens the path up for Cogley, but he has to do better.
0-0, 17.5 minutes gone. Free kick to Bolton, wide on the left. 45-50 yards out from goal, a high defensive line. And it's floated up towards Farino on the edge of the penalty area. Rose with Wootton. And the referee has given a free kick to the Stockport man, and that one a rather anticlimactic set play. We've seen better from Bolton so far, had the better of the chances, and still no goals as these two start their League One seasons on TalkSport 2.
Do you know, Stockport going to have to watch these set pieces from Bolton, because you can see Stephen Schumacher's work ever so hard at them. You just see there again Farino. I mean, he's on top of everything.
Oh, Diamond might be in here. He's peeled away from a flick on from Wootton. Sharman Lowe was out quickly with his feet to clear. It's going to come back at them, bouncing awkwardly, and Bolton didn't handle it on the edge of their own penalty area. In the end, it's the young man Conway who thumps it clear. And, well, you were saying that Stockport might have to watch those set plays. And Bolton did not deal with the simplest of balls, a bouncing ball straight down the middle of the park.
Yeah, well, look, Cameron, if I'm watching the game so far, I think Bolton have certainly settled in the game a lot quicker. The slick grass is helping them, the football they want to play. Stockport have been a little bit more direct. Kyle Wootton's got to make a bit more of a nuisance of himself, use that experience, that know-how against those two wily centre-halves that Bolton have. But Bolton are playing some nice football.
Here is Dacres Cogley, 0-0, on halfway for Bolton. Maybe just edging the opening 20 minutes or so. We're coming up to that marker now. Steady drumbeat going away from the Stockport fans in the Cheadle end as their side have to defend it again. Here come Bolton coming forward with Conway. 35 yards out, now 20 yards now into the penalty area. And the referee had a good view of it, said nothing doing as he clashes. Out it comes to the edge of the penalty area. Bolton still attacking here, trying to get the shot away. There's a few queuing up. It was McAtee who hit the shot, waited for the wrong moment. Stockport can't clear their lines though. Moxon's had to run all the way back inside his own penalty area. Cozier Dewberry's got him pinned to his own goal line now. Eventually clears it into the Brighton low knee, and that earns a round of applause. He's won a Stockport throw-in. But for a moment there, Bolton in the ascendancy again.
Well, I'll go back to the beginning of the move. Maxwell Conway, brilliant run up into the 18-yard area. Yes, there was contact in the area from Corey O'Keefe. He did go to ground, but was it enough? The referee, Elliot Bell, was right on the spot. But eventually, just clear your lines. If you panic it a little bit, Owen Moxon just kept hold of the ball a little bit too long. He's then got 2 or 3 Bolton players around him. You cannot get that amount of time in League One.
Here comes Stockport. Have they learnt from that? O'Keefe, 20 yards inside his own territory. Now with Carlos Mendes Gomez of Bolton to deal with, twists one way, then the other. Going right into the TV gantry on the other side of the pitch. They'll come back in field now. Here is Pye at centre-half for Stockport. Down the line, on the left flank this time, looking for Norwood, the near side of the field, and off that greasy surface, it's just skipped away from the veteran midfielder. and out for a dead ball for Bolton Wanderers. 0-0 in this game, 21 minutes gone on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, it's such a hard ball, isn't it, when the rain's been coming down, it's on the surface, it's always going to skid away from you. But I don't mind it, because what it will do, it'll stretch the pitch a little bit. And Stockport need that at the moment, because they're isolated, they cannot get behind Bolton.
Mason Burstow doing well to move with quick feet on the halfway line. Tried to play in Mendes Gomez for Bolton. First ball didn't find him, the second did, and now the 1-2 is on, and through it goes to McAtee. The flag has gone up, he doesn't know it yet, and he's put it wide of the far post anyway. And but for a couple of yards there between the last defender, it would have been a good move. It was fast flowing, the pink shirts were through. John McAtee on the angle, up against that eye, bent it round the post. It was well wide in the end, but the flag on the near side, quick to go up, and we're going to remain at 0-0. 22 minutes gone now in the first half.
Well, what I will say is Mason Burstow didn't really have to go so early. He had acres of space in behind, and the pass was always going to go in his direction. Just hold that run a split second, and then you've got the opportunity. You're in behind Stockport, who look a little bit nervy defensively and offensively.
Oh, Dodgson picked the ball up in the left-back region for Stockport there, and then he was clattered into by Cozier Dewberry, and it will have been an anxious wait there, hoping for the whistle to come and save him, because the Brighton loanee would have been away. Thankfully for him, the referee has sided with Stockport. Dave Challinor and his coaching staff looking on from down below. Stephen Schumacher is out in his technical area as well. And Stockport come out from the deepest regions with Connolly down the line, long ball looking for Mothersill. It was over his head, and the tall figure of Sharman Lowe has no problem collecting that time. Here is Morley, halfway inside his own half. Out to the wide right region for Dacres Cogley, now advancing to Cozier Dewberry in the centre circle. No goals in this game yet on TalkSport 2. Bolton happy at the moment to keep the ball at the back, as the press is ignited by Camps of Stockport, moving up towards the goalkeeper now as Sharman Lowe clears, and a lovely ball as well. I'll echo the words of Mickey Gray. Dacres Cogley now on the angle, edge of the attacking third. Cozier Dewberry shooting, and a good save from Adai to deny. Mario Cozier Dewberry with power and with placement. That one was heading inside the post for sure, and Adai got down low to his right, stretched out his glove and tips it round the post for a corner. 0-0.
Well, you know, sometimes direct football is the best football. It's a brilliant diagonal pass from Sharman Lowe, the goalkeeper, over to this right hand side to Cozier Dewberry. He just chops inside. What a little live wire he looks. Great feet he's got. Chops it onto his left foot, and he keeps his cool, just tries to curl it into the corner, and Adai, super save. He's been too busy in this game for my liking.
And he might be busy again. It is a corner. Bolton from the far side. In swinger. Goalkeeper stayed at home for this one, and that's because the corner was too deep. It was over all the heads, and queuing up at the back post was Dacres Cogley. It's cleared in by a couple of feet and out for a goal kick. No goal. 24 minutes are on the stadium clock. Away to our left, in the stand housing the travelling support, most of whom are standing, but for the first couple of rows, plenty of flags, St George's crosses. And the first trip while the weather is good. It didn't start good, pitch is still wet, but the sun is peeking through the clouds now as Stockport go long up towards Diamond. 35 yards out from goal, his pass was ahead of Callum Camps though, who has a little word over his shoulder at his teammate. And a throw-in it will be to Bolton, halfway inside their own territory, to be taken by Max Conway.
Well, Dave Chandler's absolutely fuming, isn't he? I don't think he's witnessing a performance that he was expecting. You can sense in this stadium, Cameron, you know, we can't hear anything. It's a silent crowd, because I think Bolton are playing ever so well, and they've been a real threat in that final third. Those long balls from Stockport have got to improve. They've just played a nice one into Jack Diamond. His first touch has got to be perfect, but when he's playing that ball into his midfield teammates, he has to be better.
Sharman Lowe goes long from a ground position up to halfway, still 0-0. Ball hit Burstow, and then he was clattered into on the halfway line. Referee took a moment there and has gone with a free kick against Moxon. Bolton not hanging around either. McAtee's moved it quickly to Burstow, edge of the centre circle. Out now this side to Cozier Dewberry on the right. He's been dangerous, now in range on the edge of the penalty area. Oh, they've given him too much room. He's open for a shot, and he spears it wide of the far post, and Burstow was in there as well. He's claiming it should have been a corner. I thought he might have taken the deflection in. Either way, it was just an inch or so away from his outstretched boots, and Stockport survive again. 0-0, 26 minutes played.
Well, you're talking about fresh faces and players coming into a new club and wanting to shine straight away to impress your supporters, your teammates, your manager. Well, Amado Cozier-Dubry at the moment has been absolutely outstanding. He's the shining light. What a little live wire he is over in this right hand side. He's got great feet, great pace, an eye for a pass, and certainly an eye for a goal.
Absolute standout player so far for me. He was at Blackburn last season in the Championship, didn't look out of place. Here comes Stockport though. Callum Camp's corner of the area. Dodgson overlapping, ground cross, and Sharman Lowe got down well, and he had to, because Malik Mothersill was arriving rapidly and only just missed it. And Stockport showing they are still alive. We are starting to hear the home support now singing, and it is still 0-0 as we are 19 minutes out from the half.
Yeah, better from Stockport. Overlap and fullbacks. Love to see that. Dodgson this time on the left-hand side, and it's a very good ball into the area. Good goalkeeping, Sharman Lowe, but I want to see more from the home side.
Simon crossfield ball looking for Cozier-Dubry, and this time, despite his pace, the young man can't control it. It's just gone past him on the right boot and skittered away for a Stockport throw-in.
Well, why wouldn't you? You know, you've got to try and play Cozier-Dubry. Give him the ball as much as you possibly can. You can see in a 1v1 situation against Dodgson, he's got the better of him. They're trying that diagonal pass, and look, he wants it all of the time. I love to see that. Young players wanting to express themselves.
Oh, Dacus Cogley was tussling with Kyle Wootton. Wootton went down on the ground. It was more of a rugby tackle than anything, and looked to the referee as if to say, what else do I need to do? And the whistle did eventually sound. Stockport going back into their own half. This game is certainly alive. 28 minutes gone. Everything but goals so far. Best chances have gone to the away team. Brilliant drive a few minutes ago from Mario Cozier-Dubry, well saved by Corey Adai. Xavier Simons rattling the post after just 5 minutes of this game. Stockport beaten in the semi-finals of the playoffs last season. Last term, the first in 3 that Bolton didn't make the League One playoffs in at the end of the campaign. And they were in the hunt towards the end. Nobody could seem to put a good run of form together to pick up those final couple of playoff spots. Teams like themselves, Huddersfield, they'll be expecting to do better, raise the standard this term. Stockport hoping for more of the same. They were in with a chance of automatic promotion, but they're having to defend now. Forward come Bolton again at 0-0. Through it goes through Bolton McAtee on the left-hand side, crossing towards the back post, but it wasn't accurate enough to find Cozier-Dubry. It is still threaded behind by Dodgson, and Bolton have got a corner, 0-0.
Well, sometimes you look at pre-season games, and I know Bolton have had a very good one. 5 out of 5 games they won. And you think, well, are they going to take that into the season? Well, from what I've seen so far, they look lively, they look sharp, they're getting in behind Stockport too easily. The quality they've got on those forward positions, they're causing a real threat.
Corner, near side the Bolton right. A smattering of Bolton shirts to aim for in the penalty area. Xavier Simons is waiting in the deep as well. In fact, it's a short ball they're going to go with. Mendes Gomez picking out the man at the back post. Simons flicked into the penalty area and off the post again, and the flag had gone up that time. It wouldn't have counted anyway. It was Chris Farino who got up from the back. He's a towering lad, and he cushioned his header well down into the turf, but the flag was raised on the near side, and once again it's Bolton bringing the pressure. Still no goals in this game.
Well, every single corner Bolton have had, they've done something different, and every single one of them have worked. Absolutely superb.
They've been a real threat, but a pass intercepted towards Cozier-Dubry by Dodgson, and he takes it over halfway for Stockport. Was he felled there by Dacus Cogley? Referees decided there's no advantage. I think that's good refereeing there from Elliot Belt, because Kyle Wootton came away with the ball, was set upon by 2 pink shirts. The referee thought, no, free kick it'll be, and Stockport will be grateful of it now. Oliver Norwood standing over it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to the referee to keep the game flowing.
And here comes Dodgson, ground cross towards the back post, and it's just ahead of Mothersill, and Wootton was chasing it in too. In fact, Mothersill's kept this alive by the corner flag. They are quick now, Stockport, moving it back towards the edge of the area. Moxon crossing, man down in the penalty area, and free kick against Stockport County. Kyle Wootton went to ground. He was adjudged to have done the fouling. Went down with Owen Toll, and the Bolton captain seemed to have been pulled down with him, and the referee not buying it and goes with the defending side. Half an hour gone, and it's 0-0.
Well, kudos again to Elliot Bell, the referee, for seeing that situation, because other referees might have saw it and saw that the striker had been dragged to ground, but he got it absolutely spot on. And I think it's just the way the game's gone. You talked about letting it flow, Cameron. It's been end-to-end football, but I have to say the bigger threat is coming from the away team.
Oh, it's been a brilliant half for the neutral. And both teams have had something to show for their efforts as well. Better chances definitely have gone to Bolton, but Stockport, when they've got into the attacking third, they've put some mean crosses in on a couple of occasions now. They've been just one gambling touch away from taking the lead. They've got a free kick, Stockport, right on halfway, taken by Norwood, flicks it down the line towards Camps, tries to turn, runs into the defender Conway, and has a throw-in in front of an old stand on the pop side of the ground, as it's called. It's held up by columns. Does obstruct your view a little bit. We're a bit luckier in this main stand. There's just one of them, a big stanchion on halfway, doesn't block much. Barnsley's the worst ground, I think, for that in this division. You actually can't see one of the goals from the commentary position. Here comes Stockport, long ball over the top, the flag has gone up, and it wouldn't have counted even if Corey O'Keefe had to get the ball in. Oh, and the little flick after the ball had gone dead from Kyle Wootton did in fact end up in the net, and that's the first time we've seen the net ripple this afternoon. Midday kickoff on TalkSport 2. Cameron Pope and Mickey Gray, your commentary team, and it's 0-0 between Stockport County and Bolton Wanderers, two promotion hopefuls come May.
Well, there was no need for Corey O'Keefe to be offside in that situation, Cameron. I mean, he's made the run forward, but he's looking right across the line as that ball's played over the top. Just keep yourself in an onside position and you're a real threat, because then you are in behind Bolton. You've got that chance to put the ball into the area and try and find Kyle Wootton.
Headers on halfway, teams both battling for it. It was Wootton who won it, played it back into his own half though. Bolton have come away with it. Here is Cozier Dewberry advancing from halfway, running at Dodgson now, halfway inside the Stockport half. It was McAtee who's then scythed down legally by Ethan Pye, a good tackle. And Bolton have a throw in, 20 yards from the corner flag, taken quickly to Morley. Now back towards halfway, still at 0-0. Morley again in the centre circle this time, as is Farino, up towards the front line where McAtee was met by the physically superior Callum Connolly. And a throw-in it is for Bolton, with no score in this game. Toll sporting that captain's armband, having not seen too much of the ball, the back line for Bolton in this game. Most of the attacking has come down the other end. Back with Sharman Lowe, the ball is, who stood on the edge of his penalty area, goes short into Simons. And on to halfway with Morley, centre circle, as the rain starts to come down again in Stockport. Cozier Dewberry attacking for Bolton, corner of the area. Diamond's had enough of it, tries to rip the ball away from him. Cozier Dewberry held it the first time, then was doubled up on with the help of Moxon, who now takes it over halfway for Stockport, and into the channel for Diamond now. And Wootton's in the middle, soon to be joined by Mothersill. Still at 0-0. Dodson overlapping in the wide area and crossed in where there were no blue shirts. It was too heavy, and two Stockport players turn with their arms aloft in frustration at Owen Dodgson for not having been able to pick out a teammate. It's 0-0. We've got 11 minutes of normal time remaining in an exciting first half.
Yeah, it has. It's been really lively. But for one, Stockport have actually made a challenge on a Mario Cozier Dewberry, and when they do win the ball, Owen Moxon does really well to play and Jack Diamond down this left-hand side. Again, that overlap and run from Dodgson, who puts a decent enough ball into the area, but he had two players attacking the same cross. You know, one's gone near, one has to go far post, and you've got a better chance of somebody getting on the end of it. But in dribs and drabs, Stockport has shown what they've got, but I want to see more possession, more being in command. They're the home team. They should be taking the game to Bolton.
They were quick out the blocks at the start of last season. One of the great EFL loan deals in bringing in Louis Barry from Aston Villa for the first half of the campaign. Here comes Diamond for Stockport over halfway. Norwood in the centre circle, had to move it quickly. He was followed all the way by Mendes Gomez, and now a crossfield ball wins a round of applause towards O'Keefe into the penalty area for Mothersill, whose cross is met by Farino, and the defensive block brings up a corner. And now the county fans are in full song. They've got a chance to get the first goal in this game, or in a minute they will, because there are two balls on the pitch. One rather unhelpfully thrown on from the Bolton end. as the away side have a rare, I think we can say, spot of defending to do. The corner's taken short, actually. Mothersill now tight to the line, trying to get away from Cozy Edgeley, who's done really well there. What a half he's having. He turned and stopped the ball on the dead ball line, then cleared it up towards halfway and out for a Stockport throw. And we just talked about Louis Barry, Mickey, who was a brilliant loan signing first half of last season. Maybe they don't have the same character. They brought in Nathan Lowe, who was a brilliant move for Walsall in the first half of last term from Stoke. He's on the bench today, but Cozy Edgeley is the standout man. I'll get your thoughts in a minute though, because forward comes Diamond for Stockport down the channel, met by Dacres Cogley and forced towards the touchline. Stockport forced to go deeper and back to halfway. They sniff an opportunity here. 9 to half time, no goals yet. Connolly 35 yards out, down the right hand side, into O'Keefe further up the touchline. Gets the 1-2 away, tries to get in behind Mendes Gomez, who has to go to ground. And a goal kick. Well, it must have been a brilliant challenge then. And those two scrapping a little bit over custody of the ball, which will go back to the goalkeeper, and we'll say no more about it at 0-0.
Well, it's exactly what you want from your wide players, and Mendes Lang tracking back and helping out his full-back, because O'Keefe loves to get forward, but they've had 2 opportunities to whip that ball into the area first time and not put the ball in there. You know, cause this Bolton backline a few problems. Ask some questions. Can you defend? Can you keep a clean sheet? Can you clear your lines? Well, I think they're going to get that from Dave Chandler at half-time to say, look, you need to do things a little bit sharper. If you do, there might be big opportunities here for you today.
0-0. It's Bolton who just called in a couple of substitutes. George Johnston, Joshua Sheehan, 2 of the old guard from last season. I'd be surprised if I was to see Bolton making changes, given the way that they've taken to this first half. They have a throw-in 20 yards inside their own territory, taken short to Burstow, who juggles and takes Diamond well out of the equation, and now a lovely crossfield ball as well, and equally well controlled. Carlos Mendes Gomez coming in field, trying on the right foot, and saved by Adai. He's palmed it away. Bolton coming back in with the ball into the area. It was ahead of Burstow, and diving to ground was Connolly to put it behind for a corner.
Well, Adai's been tested yet again in that Stockport goal. I think it's a save that he should make, but again it's that move from right to left, a super ball over from Burstow to the left-hand side to Mendes Gomez. He gets his shot away from 23, 24 yards out, gets enough pace on it to ask the question of the goalkeeper, but I think it's a save that the keeper should make.
And if anything, he got a little bit fortunate that it did parry to a Bolton man, but one that wasn't in the direct line of fire, and they were able to get the block in for the corner, which is about to come in. 38 minutes gone, no score between Bolton and Stockport. Bolton's corner to the front post where it does meet McAtee, and he can only loop it out over his head for a goal kick.
Yeah, first corner that's not really worked for Bolton. You can see they tried something different yet again, played that little dink towards the near post. The glance needs to be a little bit better, just got too much on it, but the movement from Farino, all the players around in that 18-yard area, they look lively from set pieces, Bolton.
Long ball down the park to be chased by Mothersill. Taking the game to Conway, tight to the touchline, wraps it off the young man's shin, so it will be a Stockport throw. Still no goals on TalkSport 2. On the third day of the new season, having started on Friday with Luton's win against Wimbledon. Bit of fortune in that game with a late own goal. Never know, it could decide this one. Still finely poised, even if Bolton have looked the better attacking side. Stockport are going to restart play with a throw-in in the left-back position for Conway after a midfield ball had gone astray. With 6 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. Come on, County is a chance from away to our right. Well, there's a tangle here that's going to give Bolton a cheap free kick 20 yards inside their own half. Over the head of Diamond, who doesn't contest the header in the end. Won back by Bolton's Morley. Dacres Cogley on the overlap.
Talksport with Travis.
Out customers, but some of them would have been from the away side. Mario Cozier-Dewberry looked the most likely of anybody to put Bolton into the lead. Had that brilliant chance that was well saved by Adai. Hooked one from the edge of the area, bent it towards the bottom right-hand corner for the goalkeeper, tipped it away for a corner. We saw Xavier Simons force a good save early on as well as he rattled the post. They look deadly at times, Bolton, from those set plays, and they'll be kicking themselves now.
Yeah, they will, but look, I have to say, Cameron, I think Stephen Schumacher walks down the tunnel at half-time and he's in that dressing room with his players to say, look, keep doing exactly the same thing, because your performance has been really good. You're playing some nice football. You're getting in behind the back line of Stockport. You're creating opportunities. The only thing he'd be devastated about is they've not actually scored a goal. So I don't think it's time to panic, time to change anything. And they've just got to try and get the ball over to Mario Cozier-Dewberry as much as they possibly can, because he was outstanding in the first half.
And so a half-time score that favours the home team in a first half that's been, well, surely one of the best we've had over the League One opening weekends. Championship coming next week. There'll be more action across the TalkSport network. Birmingham versus Ipswich on a Friday night. Also have action on Saturday lunchtime as Southampton and Wrexham get their seasons underway. And if it's anything like this one, well, you're in for a cracker, because there were action at both ends. There was physicality, quick passing, good movements, and in the end it's favoured Malik Mothersilp. Right place, right time, as Mickey Gray said, and he got the opening goal. Busy first half. Stockport will be the happier. At the break, they lead by 1-0.
Car owners, you could be owed thousands in compensation. If you bought a car on finance from 2007 onwards, it may have been sold with hidden commissions. Text CHECK to 86688. My Claim Group. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. You don't need to use a CMC. You can claim direct to your lender and the Financial Ombudsman for free. Text CHECK to 86688.
Claims made simple.
This season with the Premier League, UEFA Champions League, Europa and Conference League, Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup all in one place. TNT Sports is not normal. Neither was Declan's double of free kicks into the top bins.
It's Rice again!
Tarkovsky's equaliser that shook the Gladys.
It's Tarkovsky! Unbelievable.
And then there's this guy's 121st minute winner. All these competitions in one place, not normal. TNT Sports.
You've reached the final level. The Spicy McNuggets side mission. Maximum flavour, crispy crunch, and a spicy dip with a kick. Are you ready? Spicy McNuggets, for a limited time only. Until the 9th of September 25. Fees apply to delivery. Participation and price may vary. Subject to availability. Serving times apply.
We're the dirty secret in your drains.
We may start as a nasty little nick,
But we get more powerful.
crawling up your pipes
Choking your toilet.
until it's all aboard the express train to drain pain.
When your drains become a total horror show, call Metro Rod. Metro Rod's heroes are on hand 24/7 to nuke all the nasty surprises in your pipes. For sanitation salvation, visit metrorod.co.uk. Metro Rod, here to save the day.
Oh, really? Cigarette butts are rubbish. And dropping them on the ground is littering. But you can get a butt box, a convenient smell-proof container to store your butts till you can put them in a bin. Nice. Right, so all I really have to do is search Box Your Butts. Well, you heard the duck. Search Box Your Butts. Keep Britain tidy. I can't say that.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is TalkSport 2.
TalkSport. New season. More high density.
defensive block. Norwood deflected and in. And Stockport take the lead right on the stroke of half-time. Mothersill is the man taking the plaudits. He might have had a job in steering that one goal bound. It was hit by Oliver Norwood on the edge of the penalty area. And through a sea of bodies, it rebounds. Roof of the net, Sharman Lowe couldn't keep it out. And as the 2 minutes of additional time run out, it is the home side at Edgeley Park who take the lead, 1-0.
2 or 3 little deflections.
Bolton are out for the second half. Don't look to be making any changes. It's the same 11 have come out onto the field ahead of us. Chris Farino has joined them after having to leave the field for treatments late on in the aftermath of that goal. So still waiting on the home side, who impressed in fits and starts. I think it's fair to say Mickey Gray, last 15 minutes of the first half maybe belonged to them, but they were under pressure for most of the first half.
Yeah, they were, and I think that's one of the reasons why Bolton have not made any changes at half-time, because they know that they've got the quality to get in behind Stockport. I think they've just got to show that little bit more or that little bit more nous when they get into the final third, and they could easily have been in front after that 45 minutes I've just witnessed. So I think Stephen Schumacher could be pretty pleased. The only thing that will disappoint him is that they've not got themselves on the score sheet.
Well, they've got Max Conway, young left back, making his Bolton debut, just getting a few words in the ear from the coaching staff. He's still in the technical area down below us, taking on an energy gel, I think, by the looks of it. I've always wondered, Mickey, when you play at 12 p.m, it's not like playing at 3 p.m. as you normally would, and so your nutrition, your hydration, that's got to be completely different, I guess, hasn't it?
Well, look, nobody likes to have pasta for breakfast, but that's the way it is because of the timing of the kickoffs. But you get used to it as a player. I think it just becomes the norm. Your preparation's a little bit earlier than you're expected to be at 3 o'clock, but the players are ready for it. Doesn't matter what time the kickoff is, you want to just get out there. Certainly the first day of the season as well. I mentioned before about putting the new kit on, being in that starting 11. That's what it's all about.
I'm not sure what I think of the Stockport new kit. They've come out now away to our left, led out by Oliver Norwood, who had a big hand in that goal. He fired a shot in from the edge of the area that cannoned around like a pinball before it dropped for Malik Mothersill. It's a blue number, that deep royal blue that Stockport wear, and then it's a gradient into a white trim. I'm not too sure on it personally. White shorts and blue socks, all in pink, an electric pink. Bolton Wanderers, they take up their positions to the right of myself and Mickey Gray. It's Bolton who will start us off for this second half. Referee's taking the register. Kept it flowing nicely, I thought, the man in black, Elliot Bell. The referees have got a new kit this season too. Black with white trim. He's just counting up players on both sides. So we're going to have no changes after an exciting first period on TalkSport 2. It's Stockport County 1, Bolton Wanderers 0, and we're on the way in this second half. So will Stockport be starting their campaign with victory as they look to put to bed the heartache of defeat in the playoff semi-final on this ground at the end of last season. Bolton were 10 points back from the playoffs in 8th, aiming to do better. They expect better, having been in the playoff final the season before, well beaten by Oxford on their way into the championship. But they fell away last season under Ian Evans, and Stephen Schumacher able to put his stamp on things in this new season. Both bosses up in their technical areas. Dave Challoner's going to go down to his shirt sleeves. The sun's come poking out now. I thought we were in for a downpour when I arrived this morning. And Corey Adai is rolling the ball out in front of him in his Stockport 6-yard box. Goes short to the left-hand side of the field for Dodgson, up the line towards halfway. Controlled by Farino. Seems to have shaken off that knock okay, but his ball is errant, however, and here comes Camps for Stockport County. Centre circle, out towards the Barnsley lone man, O'Keefe. Right-hand side down the line, looking for the goal scorer. Mothersill tries to get in between the defender and the goalkeeper, and Sharman Lowe is just inside the confines of his penalty area as he picks up. First minute complete in the second half. Stockport leading by a goal to nil. They're going to have a free kick as well on halfway. Owen Dodgson muscling his way in ahead of Mario Cozier-Dubry and was caught, and they will start with a set play.
It's been a good battle, that, hasn't it? Over on the Stockport's left-hand side with Dodgson, the left back, and Dubry being a little live wire he was in the first 45 minutes. Probably say that the best two players I've seen in that first 45, Dodgson with his wonderful quality with his left foot, and Dubry, we mentioned him on numerous occasions with the ability that he's got.
Two loan signings, two from a Premier League club, Burnley and Brighton. Stockport come down the left-hand flank this time with Diamond. A slip from the defender has allowed him to get a cross in, but Simons does recover and deflects it out the right side of the corner flag from a Bolton perspective, because it means they'll only have to defend a throw-in. Stockport leading from the end of the first half. Malik Mothersill's goal, the only goal in this fixture, not for the want of trying for Bolton. Had the better of the chances as Stockport fans, bedecked in scarves and shirts, still making their way back into the Cheadle end, towards which Stockport are attacking. Throw-in was a little limp in the end. It only meets a defender, and Dakers Cogley heads it out on the full for another throw. It's one of the biggest ends outside the Premier League, that Cheadle end. Half the ground fits in that stand, and are all supporting Stockport, willing their side on to double their advantage. Yet to settle into a pattern in this second half on TalkSport 2. It's Dodgson with his back to goal for Stockport. Apex of the penalty area, battling with Simons. The ball rolls away off the defender for a corner. Both sides did campaign for it. Stockport have started the opening 3 minutes of this second half brightly. The lead by a goal to nil.
Well, how they would love an early goal in the second half to top off what they achieved in the first half, Stockport County, and with the quality that Norwood's got, you can see, as I mentioned in the first half, it's like they're queuing up for the bar again, isn't it? But it just needs somebody to break out of that pack and get the first contact.
Stockport players awaiting Norwood's delivery in a line, and they break away as they head towards goal with the rising Connolly. Didn't get the angle he wanted. He did get a defensive deflection though, and a corner it is for Stockport again. Still with the advantage in this game, looking to build on it, and Oliver Norwood is the man entrusted to cross from the far side to the near side. He will take the delivery again, sporting the captain's armband in place of the injured Lewis Bates. Early season preparations for both sides hit by a spate of injuries. This time an outswinger from Norwood, deep towards the penalty spot, flicked on as well by Pye. Couple of juggles before it was cleared by Simons. There's a man down in the penalty area, looks to be Chris Farino, the defender, and the referee thinking this might be a head injury actually, because he's not moved, has stopped play, and the medical staff are getting themselves ready to come on. The referee is jogging over to him, and thankfully Farino is peeling himself up off the deck. The Wanderers physios are on. So 1-0, 4 minutes gone at Edgeley Park in the second half. And TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL this season. Don't miss the EFL All Access Championship special tomorrow on TalkSport 2 from 6 o'clock with Hugh Wozencroft and Sam Parkin. There's a couple of Stockport players come to the near side for a drink and a talking to with Dave Challinor. Camps and Wootton going to be joined by the goal scorer Mothersill, as Farino is up on his feet and still being checked over by the medical staff, as Sharman Lowe has a word in the ear of the goalkeeper, of the referee, taking on some fluids. The on-loan stopper, no chance for the goal. It was out of his reach as it cannoned around in front of him. And before that, I can't recall him, Mickey, having had to have made a save.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you talk about the set pieces, which have improved in the early stages of this second half from Stockport County, but there must have been some knock towards the head on Chris Farino, because he's a big lad, isn't he? Again, he's had a very good game so far. Physical presence in the back line of Bolton Wanderers, but just getting that little bit more treatment now. But it's nice to see him back on his feet. Not quite sure if the physio's just wiping up a little bit of blood from his nose or something, but I'm sure he'll brush that off and get on with his game, because again, you know, he started the game very, very brightly. Centre halves, you're always wondering, are they going to make a mistake? But he looks assured, Farino. That physical presence in both areas, clearing his lines, but also a threat offensively as well, because he just wants to get in front of his marker and get something on it if the crosses come into the box. But yeah, he's shaken up a little bit, isn't he?
Well, he was really unlucky last season, Chris Farino. He's well thought of, brought in from Wickham at the start of last term, and he impressed, but then hamstring surgery kept him out for 4 months. Only played 16 times in the league. Does look as if he's going to try to come back on. Whether it is a blood injury that's been cleaned up, I'm not sure, but the shirt is coming off. That would suggest so. And so for the moment, Bolton at a man disadvantage and a goal disadvantage. He's going to be mopped up by the physio team. Never with the penalty area, but off the field as Stockport look to get this game started again. We're going to start with a drop ball, with Stockport having been in possession. So they will begin with it under the TV gantry on the far side of the field. Back towards Norwood, who's dropped deep into defence to try and catalyse something. O'Keefe calling for it on halfway, near side the Stockport right. Bolton still playing a man light. Stockport leading by a goal to nil. 7 gone on TalkSport 2 in the second half. Here is Connolly. Stockport not making advantage of the spare man. They've gone long to try and do so now towards Mothersill. Off his forehead, he flicked it back towards O'Keefe. Defender got a foot in, and it's, well, I thought it had gone for a corner. And the referee and assistant have pointed for a goal kick, and they've just motioned to show that it was a deflection that has cost Stockport their chance at another corner. And so 1-0 they lead. Bolton to start with a goal kick. And Chris Farino has been allowed back onto the field with a new shirt. So 11 versus 11 again. We await the dead ball of Sharman Lowe. on the near side of his 6-yard box. Farino now playing without a number, every commentator's favourite. He's a tall man though, thankfully easy to spot. He wouldn't fit in this press box, I tell you. Cleared by Stockport. Oliver Norwood with the boot to ball up towards Wootton. 35 yards out from goal. He's got to try and hold it up against 2 players and has done so as well. Fed it backwards to Moxon. Out to the Stockport left-hand side now. Diamond. County looking for a second goal in this game. Pass was poor though from Moxon to try and bring in Dodgson. And Mario Cozier-Dewberry can play out from the back, slightly ahead of Carlos Mendes-Gomez. Stockport are getting to every ball here, and they've won a free kick as Mendes-Gomez reached out with the trip inside the centre circle. O'Keefe it was who took the tumble. And to say he was the brightest star of the first half of Mario Cozier-Dewberry, he's barely had a look in this second period. Stockport playing that little bit better.
Yeah, well, it looks like Dave Chandler's done his homework at half-time. He's obviously pinpointed that Dewberry was a threat, so they've doubled up on him on occasions. And it's very difficult to get the ball out to him now. Oh,
Mothersill, lovely turn to get away from the defender. Conway on the flank, but then ran into 2 more pink-shirted Bolton players. And that's gone for a Bolton throw-in. Taken by Conway quickly as well. That meant that Mendes-Gomez had no marker on him. Forced into a tackle, knocks it off the shins of O'Keefe, and so a Bolton throw. Looking for an equaliser. 54 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. As the ball through the middle of the centre circle from Moxon was lacking in accuracy towards Wootton. Bolton able to start again with Farino now sporting a stopper up his nose to stem the flow from his earlier injury. High ball on halfway, won by Conway. Nobody for Bolton around it, so an easy clearance for Connolly. And chasing it is Wootton down towards the goalkeeper. Slammed away by Sharman Lowe, forced to come out of his penalty area. It stayed in. I think a few players had expected it to go dead, and O'Keefe is watching this one down to his byline, gets a shove in the back from Burstow, and it is a dead ball to be taken by Stockport. 55 gone on the stadium scoreboard. It also reads Stockport 1, Bolton Wanderers 0.
Well, I think if Burstow would have been a little bit more on his toes, he might have had a chance of getting on the end of that.
Oh, Morley picks it up halfway inside the Bolton half, and then quick thinking with a tackle from Norwood. Moves well for a man of a certain vintage over the halfway line towards Mothersill, cutting in from the flank, and this time fouled by Conway, and a free kick in a well-worked counter-attacking move for Stockport County. They lead by a single goal.
I knew exactly what he was doing there, Maxwell Conway, in a 1v1 situation with Mothersill. He knew he had to either win the ball or just make contact with the player to bring him down, but what that does pose now is the threat from Ollie Norwood's right foot in a dangerous area, the corner of the 18-yard area, just to whip it in behind this back line of Bolton. This is where you want to see that real quality, and one of your players, your teammates, trying to get on the end of it.
Norwood might be the one to take it. There's a 2-man wall. This free kick 45 yards out as the crow flies, tight to the right-hand touchline. It is Norwood, right-footed, swinging into the back post. Defensive header from McAtee, and it's going to be a corner.
What a
Stockport keeping the pressure on.
What a ball. Absolutely fantastic. Exactly what you want from Norwood, whipping it in behind that back line of Bolton. But where's the threat from Stockport, his teammates? Somebody trying to get on the end of it. I think it was Conway again. Didn't really want anything to do with it, but it bounced off his back, and it's gone out for another corner for Stockport.
Oh, Norwood's taken this one short as well. Plenty of blue shirts in the area if the cross can come in, and it does come in deep to the back post. Rising header from Toll to get it away. Out to the edge of the attacking third now with Camps. Socks rolled down on the left foot, cuts it inside. Now here's Mothersill, corner of the area, trying to turn away from the defender. McAtee read it well, took it off him, and Xavier Simons clears over halfway. There was a chase from Mendes-Gomez. The ball has gone dead, and Stockport will restart with a throw-in inside their own half, leading 1-0.
Excellent defender from John McAtee, coming back to help out in the full-back area. 1v1 situation again with Mothersill. Just read the situation, but he was calm, just played it off, done his job. That's what you want to see from your wide players, your midfield players.
O'Keefe for Stockport picks out a safe ball to his goalkeeper. Knew that Burstow was sniffing around him. Short ball from the goalkeeper, maybe not welcomed by the defenders in front of him. Pye did get it away with the help of Moxon. Up to halfway, but at the loss of possession. Bolton have it back with Morley down the line looking for Cozier-Dewberry. Didn't help him out there with the pass. It's a stride or so in front of him. Stockport will have a throw in their left back position. Only the one goal in this game, scored by Malik Mothersill on debut right at the end of first half added time. A scrappy goal, might say against the run of play. Bolton having had the better of the chances in the first half. Second half has been much more even, as Bolton scrap to keep the ball in play, 20 yards their side of the halfway line. Back to the goalkeeper it will go, Sharman Lowe. Also on debut with boot to ball downfield, headed away by Connolly. Into the centre circle it drops. Unfortunately it well for Conway, who's come in from left back, into Morley in the centre circle too. Forward is Dacres Cogley, wants the 1-2 here with Cozier Dewberry. 30 yards from the corner flag. Running at the defender Dodgson, cuts it inside. Ball is looping to the back post, over the head of Burstow. Oh, only half cleared though. It's going to drop for McAtee, and he holds his head in his hands. He's blazed it over the bar into the Bolton fans, a few of whom throw their arms in frustration. And McAtee, who had no defender around him, only 10 yards out or so, a chance for a crack at goal, and he skewed it way off the target.
Well, a brilliant ball in from Morley initially, which isn't cleared very well from O'Keefe, and as it comes back and falls to John McAtee, can he hit it first time? He's took a touch and it's really kind of scuppered him because he's losing his balance, he's leaning back. He doesn't really look like he's going to hit the target. I think the best opportunity was to play that first time.
Well, Adai has got attackers coming in all around him here. He's going to have to go long with his clearance. Stockport getting lucky there maybe. The lead is still intact at 1-0. 59 minutes gone at Edgeley Park on TalkSport 2. Here comes O'Keefe down the other end, corner of the area. His cross can't find Wootton or Mothersill. Cleared by Conway, shouts of handball against Cozier Dewberry, nothing given. The clearance from Morley cannons off Moxham, and out for a Bolton throw-in, not where they would have wanted it though. Level with the edge of their own penalty area.
I think Stephen Schumacher's changed his mind about 6 times on making a substitution, Cameron. I don't think he's happy with what he's seen in the second half. They're finding it really difficult to get out, and I think that's down to the way that Stockport come out and defended in this second 45 minutes.
Well, there's going to be a change, and I can see Joel Randall getting his shirt on down in front of us. Stockport attacking for the moment though. Mothersill down the right hand side, got the crossing along the floor, and Farino taking no chances, slams that behind the goal, and out for a corner as Stockport look to increase their lead, which stands at 1-0 as we approach the hour mark. Substitutions to be made, there's going to be a few of them as well. Randall to be joined by Josh Sheehan, a new signing Thierry Gale, who I'm told is rapid, the Barbadian winger. And what sort of game are they going to enter into, because Stockport have got a chance to double up here. Norwood to take it, near side the right for Stockport, will be an outswinger on his right boot. We're going to have to wait a moment though. The referee's having a little talk with players from both sides, Simons and Connolly, who are in the thick of the action. Most players clustered level with the penalty spot at the back edge of the box. Taken short in any event. 1-2 between Norwood and Mothersill. Norwood down at the edge of the penalty area under the challenge of Mendes Gomez, no foul given. Appeals from the benches falling on deaf ears. There is a clearance from O'Keefe long into the Bolton half, and Sharman Lowe will start. And there's some choice words from Dave Chalner to the assistant referee and to the man in the middle. They're not happy. They thought they should have had a free kick on the corner of the penalty area. The referee's been letting those go all day long though. And after an hour and 30 seconds or so, it is Stockport 1, Bolton 0.
I think he was frustrated, Dave Chandler, as well, because the corner just didn't find its way coming into the area.
Oh, here go Bolton down the left-hand side, and Conway can see clear air ahead of him. Burstow in the middle, might have a shot at goal. On the angle, left-footed, frame of the goal, rebound, 18 yards, Morley, wide. And that was a chance. And Bolton have had a couple of them now. Trying to get back into this game after half-time. Going down in the final seconds of the first period. Conway away down the left flank into the penalty area, rattled the post. Adai couldn't get to it. It dropped to Morley in the 18-yard box, lashed his shot across goal. It ends up wide of the target. It's still Stockport 1, Bolton 0.
Well, I can't believe it is still 1-0 to Stockport. 2 brilliant opportunities. Worked really well down the left-hand side. Maxwell Conway, super run. When he found himself in the 18-yard area, I'm thinking, is he going to cross it? Is he going to cross it? Well, it's a great strike. Rattles, as you mentioned there, off the crossbar. But when it comes back out, it's absolutely superb from Morley. It's a wonderful strike, and it just misses the post. But outstanding from Bolton down the left here.
Well, the changes are being made. We've just seen Thierry Gale come on to make his debut. So 3 men off. Carlos Mendes Gomez has come off, Burstow as well, Aaron Morley, that's also the end of his game. So the men on: Thierry Gale, new signing from Rapid Vienna, plays on the wing. Jordi Osei-Tutu can operate as a wing back usually, he's on, as is Welsh midfielder Josh Sheehan. What do you make of it, Mickey? We're wondering when we were going to see some changes. It's taken 62 minutes.
Yeah,
and now a triple change from the Bolton bench.
Yeah, I think they needed it. They need that little bit of spark, albeit we just had it, moments ago, and I think it was certainly Bolton's best move in the second half. But you look at the three players that have come on. Gale, as you mentioned there, with a little bit of pace.
Oh, long ball through the middle. McAtee down in the penalty area. Referee looking on, unmoved, and the ball is gathered by goalkeeper Adai. And a straight ball down the park. Coming together with McAtee, trying to get himself past Connolly. Looked a little clumsy, that was all. And the referee happy for play to continue. Bolton are knocking on the door. Stockport leading by a goal to nil. Into the channel they come on the counter-attack. Wootton by the corner flag now. Sees the run of Camps go past him, doesn't use him. Back to O'Keefe. Stockport ready to make a change, looking for a second goal first though. Odin Bailey is strict and ready to come on, central midfielder. And the sting has rather gone out of this attack now. Bolton have regrouped and they've sent them all the way back to the goalkeeper Adai. It's still 1-0 to the home side at Edgeley Park on TalkSport 2. Long ball, this time will evade Mothersill, out of play after one bounce. Bolton have a throw in halfway inside their own half. Now the change.
I mean, it's just such an open game now, isn't it? Bolton are finding themselves getting in behind Stockport's back line, trying to get themselves into the game, but then they leave themselves vulnerable at the back as well, which is making it an end-to-end game of football. And I think the big surprise is, we've only had one goal.
And the man who scored it is going to be replaced. Malik Mothersill, club record signing. Put them into the lead just before the half-time break. And to a round of applause from three sides of Edgeley Park, he departs. A handshake and a slap on the back from Dave Challoner. His job done for the moment. Odin Bailey, who's not as attacking minded, comes in, played most games last season, usually from the bench. First change for the home team. So a throw-in for Bolton, left back position to be taken by Conway. Lashes a ball cross field, looking to find Cozy Dewberry up against the much taller Dodgson, who in the end ducks it and lets it run for a Stockport throw. And Dave Challoner capping above his head. He's happy with the output of his side in this second half. 1-0 Stockport lead, just shy of 65 minutes played on TalkSport 2. You're home of the EFL. 3 days of action next weekend when the championship begins. We'll see how the likes of Ipswich and Southampton and Wrexham get on. Birmingham 2 an entry in our commentary games. As Bolton start from the back. First look at Gale, nips in from the touchline to get away from O'Keefe and his foul. He was described to me yesterday by a Bolton fan as a firework for the way he can get off the mark.
Well, you look at the two wide players that Bolton have got now. I mean, they are both little live wires, aren't they? As a full-back, it's your worst nightmare, because you just want somebody who likes to run up and down the line. But when they've got the ability that Gale and Dewberry have got, you have to be on your toes as a left-back and a right-back. And I'm sure that's what Dave Chandler's saying to his players.
Randall's come over halfway here and got himself into a little bit of space. He's trying to twist and turn. Has his head up for the far side, and Mario Cozy Dewberry. Little slip from Randall as he tries to get into the penalty area. Cozy Dewberry's got down the flank as well. Simon's on the edge of the penalty area now, floating a ball in towards the back post. Only found the defensive header of O'Keefe. Only half cleared though, and as it looked like it was going to drop for Mario Cozy Dewberry. Free kick has gone Stockport's way. A bump from Randall, I think it was, into Norwood. And so the sting comes out of that one. And 66 gone, Stockport leading by a goal to nil.
Yeah, I think there's contact, isn't there? I think there was just a little bit too much there, and it's just a little bit of a breather for the Stockport defence, because they've been under pressure the last 2 or 3 minutes. You can see Bolton are just going to push and push to try and get themselves back in this game and find the equalising goal, and maybe that's where the home side can capitalise and get the second themselves.
Here comes Stockport, looking to find that elusive second goal. Through the middle they will come with the ball at the feet of Moxon, corner of the area. Cut back towards Norwood, deep in the pocket, good 45 yards out, flicks the ball down the channel. Might have found Callum Camps here, up towards the byline he goes, but the flag is up, and a couple of glances across. I think they were expecting it there, Stockport. And so still at 1-0 they lead. Bolton trying to start quickly. Sheehan picking up on the edge of his penalty area. And out towards halfway where Gale is waiting. Cuts back on his right boot. Slamming one cross pitch, looking for the diminutive Cozy Dewberry. It was the non-diminutive Dodgson who heads back to his goalkeeper. And so since that triple change, Bolton have tried to shake things up a little bit. Had sights a goal in the second half as well. Still unable to find a way back to parity. 1-0 Stockport lead, and Camps has it for them in the centre circle. Out to the right-hand side for Corey O'Keefe now. Corner of the area, on the right boot, switches onto the left, and Conway saw it coming, got a foot in. Odin Bailey swinging the crossing now deep towards Wootton. Defensive header away, told it was that time. And a boots to it with Dacus Cogley. Gets it away and adds a play. And he got a defensive nick as well, so it will be a Bolton ball. 23 minutes gone. And Stockport still leading with that goal at the end of the first stop. That single goal in this game as both sides start their League One campaign. Two teams expecting to be at the top end of the table come May. Stockport with that brilliant record under Dave Challoner. He's got a brilliant record in management, Challoner. He started out in non-league with Colwyn Bay, and then with AFC Fylde. That was playoffs or championships every year bar one up until this season. Playoffs or champions, I should say. And he fell just short in third at the end of last term. Beaten here on penalties by Leyton Orient in the semi-final. And they lead in this first game of the season. Bolton quick to start play from a throw with McAtee. Back to halfway with Randall. And Sheehan now. Sideways ball into him, out to the right-hand side for Dacus Cogley. Standing up and being stood his ground against by Owen Moxon, out to the right-hand side now. Here comes Cozier Dewberry, one ball in field. Nowhere for Xavier Simons to go. Has to wait for Sheehan to arrive. Now halfway inside the Stockport half. This is good from Bolton. Near side their left, they will go. It's Gale trying to find a crossing position up against O'Keefe. Stands against the defender. It is a corner in front of the Bolton fans. And Stockport thought O'Keefe had done enough there to play it back off the Bolton man. No dice, says the referee, as Bolton go looking for this equaliser. The name Josh Sheehan being toasted. He's the man who's going to take it.
He's got to just try and find and put this ball in the area. They've seen all the different set pieces in the first half. I think it's just about putting the ball in the box and hoping one of your teammates are brave enough to win the first header.
Substitution for the home side. Jack Diamond's making way, and there's going to be another debutant, a man who lit up League 2 last season on loan at Walsall. Nathan Lowe on loan again from Stoke City. And we've seen what he can do in the EFL so far, right at the start of his career. Only 19 years old. Into the attack he comes. And so the Stockport attack not letting up with 20 minutes of this game to play. And his first job will be to help defend this corner as Diamond makes his way back to the bench. In fact, he's going to go right down the tunnel as his side get ready to defend. Sheehan in swinger towards the again. The man wearing the armband. Outswinger towards the penalty spot again, right onto the head of the defender though. Farina away. Back to the taker. Tight to the touchline now, infield to Bailey. Left foot, in swinging cross. Straight to the defender once again. Bailey will have it back. Goes back to the touchline with Norwood. Down the line now into Camps. Left foot, cutting in into a central berth. Now picked up by Moxon, who's run out of options going forward. Has to go back to Dodgson. Stockport looking for a second goal. It would be to nil. Norwood chipping this time. Oh, played it over Cozier Dewberry. Bailey down by the byline. Trying to cut inside Conway. Two defenders on him. Gets a cross in. It's not an effective one. Nearly made a mess of by Simons, who scuffed at his first effort. Does clear it away. And then Randall is wiped out late. Poor challenge by Owen Moxon. And I think we're going to see the first yellow card of the game. Out it comes. Brandished by Elliot Bell. And Moxon into the book, and deservedly so. I think brandished, I think it's a word you only ever say when you're talking about the method in which a referee pulls a card out of his pocket, but not surprised to see it brandished or otherwise.
Well, he brandished it very well, Cameron, and I think it was the right decision, wasn't it? You could see Owen Moxon, he was just trying to nullify the opportunity of a break forward from Bolton, just swiped down on the ground and brought the player down, and it was the right call, wasn't it? Yellow card.
No complaints either. That should tell you all you need to know. Dave Challoner is making the talking sign with his hands, both outstretched in his technical area. Maybe wants some more communication from his side, who have a lead, but it's a tentative one at 1-0. Here's Wootton, centre circle, trying to flick through the middle towards the blonde head of Nathan Lowe, who was making his way through the defence. Stuffed out in the end by Toll. Good intervention. And he and Farina will play this ball into midfield, where Stockport are still giving Bolton no time on the ball. We're into the 75th minute of this game. Stockport leading 1-0 at Edgeley Park on TalkSport 2. Randall forward for Bolton now. Out to Cozier Dewberry. Level with the edge of the Stockport penalty area. Back to Simons. He could shoot from here, and he will. Into the body of the defender. Picked up now by Cozier Dewberry. Switches it to the left-hand side. Near side for Bolton. Here's Gale now. Winger onto his right foot, got right under the sphere of the ball, and it almost cleared the stand at the railway end. And it will remain Stockport 1, Bolton 0.
I don't think his teammates are too happy with him there, were they? Thierry Gale. He done really well to work the angle onto his right foot, but it has to be a wonder goal from where he took the shot from. He had options in the 18-yard area. Just got to try and find one of your teammates. The quality to get towards the edge of the 18-yard area is very, very good, but that final bit of quality they need to put the ball in the back of the net's not been there.
Jordi Alcé Tutu is on for Bolton. Full-back taking over from Max Conway on debut. Thought we might see him a little earlier. He was getting ready, and as Mickey Gray said, Stephen Schumacher seemed to change his mind in a few substitutions. A lot of activity on that Bolton bench down below us. And he enters into the game with his side 1-0 down with 14 minutes to play at Edgeley Park, which has seen the sun peeking out from behind the clouds now and glaring back off the stand opposite us as its tenants come forward again. Down their left flank with Callum Camps. Doubled up on, turned into Sheehan. Couldn't keep the ball though, and Bolton will have the throw-in. Time ticking away against Stephen Schumacher's side, who did plenty in the first half, everything but score. Had the better of the chances, undone with a rebounding goal right on half-time from the since replaced Malik Mothersill. As Sheehan picks it up halfway inside Bolton territory. Has Lowe to deal with right on top of him. Forward by Toll to halfway. Cozier Dewberry down the right-hand Bolton flank. Looking for an option, and he's got on the overlap. Say 2-2 decided to go infield. Shouts of handball, but Sheehan's lost it. Referee said no foul, and now gives one to Stockport for the next challenge. Xavier Simons kept sliding in, and a free kick well won by Stockport on the break. Pinch possession, and Xavier Simons has gone into the book.
Yeah, an honest foul. Again, nullifying the break from Stockport County. Just trying to look at the way that Bolton have got themselves set up right now, and Cogley looks like he came over to this left-back position. I'm quite sure, I think Tutu's gone over to that right-hand side. I've seen him play left-right, so he's quite comfortable, but it's not defensively we need to see them, it's offensively, because they need to get into the game.
Versatility of virtue at this level. It's going to be a corner to Stockport. Corey O'Keefe slipped one into the channel that came last off Thierry Gale. So Stockport pushing for that second goal. And they've got 12 minutes to find it in. They'll be more bothered about keeping Bolton out down the other end. But a good game, end to end, plenty of action. Both teams have had their good spells. And Bolton will be ruining missed chances in theirs. Good starts to both halves. And the defending now from another Norwood corner. Out swinging once more, goalkeeper scampering back into goal, and the header went over from Ethan Pye. Centre-back got up and powered a header at goal. It was straight down the middle but cleared the crossbar. And a goal kick is the only harm. Ethan Irachen, the new signing from Lincoln, is going to come on for Bolton. Going to replace the outgoing Xavier Simons. Played well for the Imps in an up-and-down season for his side last term. A paid signing. He's going to be a Bolton man for the next 4 years now. And at the moment we've got a player without a shirt. One of the Stockport men has removed this kit. It's always hard to tell when they've taken their shirt off, isn't it? Because they're lacking a number. It showed in Bailey. All of a sudden I looked up from my notes and there was a midfielder with his shirt off. But now we're all back and fully dressed, and we can continue at Stockport 1, Bolton 0. Dodgson clearing from the edge of his own penalty area. Up towards Farina, who nearly had his shirt pulled off by Kyle Wootton, and it went missed by the referee. Forward Bolton go towards Randall. Cannon's off him, challenged by Norwood, but he's managed to pick out his man. Forward come the pink shirts to the away side. Gale up to the byline, round O'Keefe, makes that nice save. Sprawling stop from the goalkeeper, and nodded behind by Callan Connolly. And Bolton looking for that equaliser, and nearly found it there.
What a save from Corey Adai. Waited till the last moment. It was point blank as well, because Thierry Gale has done really well to get away from his marker. He bided his time, tried to play it underneath the big goalkeeper, but Adai read the situation, and that's a match-winning save. Absolutely brilliant.
10 minutes of normal time remaining. Bolton looking for an equaliser. Sheehan's corner, lofted to the back post. Wootton heading it away. It's going to be a Bolton ball though, picked up by Dacus Cogley. Now Randall, corner of the area, gets away from the defender, crossed in by Dacus Cogley, slams into Norwood, and out for a Bolton throw. And everybody, bar the Bolton goalkeeper Sharman Lowe, is in the final third of the pitch. Bolton attacking with Randall now. Does he get a shove off the ball there? Manages to steer it to Dacus Cogley. Cross towards Farino. Rose highest there. Headed it into the back of his own man, I think he has. And Stockport clear up towards Lowe again. Now Wootton trying to lead the counter-attack. Chip over the top, and Lowe's going to chase this. And getting back quickly was Osei 2-2, and Bolton will be thankful. Forward over halfway they can come now. End-to-end stuff in the second half on TalkSport 2. 1-0 Stockport lead, a free kick for Bolton, won by Ethan Irachen. And they want to take it quickly, and they're going to be allowed to as well. Up towards the corner of the area already. Osei 2-2 with the cross. Hits the defender's shins. Out to the line it goes. Picked up it will be by Irachen. Non-stop from Bolton. A little bit slow from Cozier Dewberry in getting down the line though. Footing was a comfortable one for Dodgson. And Stockport, for the first time in a long time, can get boot on ball and string a couple of passes together. 9 minutes of normal time remaining. And it is Stockport who've led from the first half 1-0.
Well, they need a little bit of a breather at the moment, don't they? Because it's just been an onslaught of pressure from Bolton Wanderers, who've made a raft of changes, but still yet to find them or put the ball in the back of the net. And he's right, Stockport just need to breathe a little bit and play some football as they are doing right now.
Here comes Camps, edge of the attacking third for Stockport, ahead of Lowe, down the left-hand channel. Didn't get there first though, and he's fouled in his attempts to wing it back. Good play by Geordie Osei 2-2, who's looked bright since coming on. If he can stay fit, he could be a danger for Bolton this season. It's fitness that's dogged him in the early years of his career. He's won a free kick for his side within the confines of Sharman Lowe's penalty area. Bolton trailing by a goal to nil.
Just needs some game time, doesn't he? Stay fit, Osei 2-2, because he's a very good player. As I said, he's versatile. He can play in either flank, full back or wing back, and he's got real pace and quality. And I was just having a look at Nathan Lowe. You talked about fitness levels there. He doesn't really look quite up to scratch at the moment. It's going to take him a little bit of time to bed into his new team here at Stockport.
Well, he was such a bright start for Walsall at the start of last season. They really suffered without him. Came in off the bench in this one. Both sides have made a raft of changes now as the rain starts to stare Rod down again in SK3. Bolton have a free kick for jostling to be taken by Sheehan. Just a step inside the Stockport half as they go in search of an equaliser that's eluded them since the end of the first period. Malik Mothersall was the scorer. More of an offensive output for Stockport as the game has worn on. Dacus Cogley in the centre circle. Into Sheehan now, down the right-hand side, far side for Bolton. Corner of the area, I'll say 2-2. Might he fancy a cross here against Camps? Gets himself into the area, into the byline, parried by the goalkeeper, into no man's land, and scrambled away by Stockport again. And they're living dangerously at times. They maintain this 1-goal cushion.
Yeah, but also great quality from Osei 2-2, who's just come onto the pitch and he wants to make the difference. Great ability, great skill to get away from his marker. It's a super ball into the area, and again Corey Adai down at his near post just to take the pressure off his back line and clear the lines. And another change we're going to get now, Cameron.
Well, Danny Andrew is going to come on to make his debut. He was brought in yesterday on a 1-month deal as a left back cover, and he's going to replace Callum Camps, who plays in midfield. So we might see a switching round of the shape for the home side. On he comes, having recently played with Cambridge. They've had no luck in that position. Theo Edun brought in from Peterborough and then injured pretty early. Ryan Rydell out on loan with Exeter without a recall clause. Maybe Torre left for Bradford, and so found himself a little stuck for options. Did Dave Challinor, and he's brought his new man on for a debut in what could be a short spell. An important one nonetheless in this game. 6 minutes of normal time remaining. Stockport still leading by that first half goal to 0. And Bolton attacking with increasing venom. I'll say 2-2 is 45 yards out. Looks so lively since coming on, and he's brought it to the left hand side this time for Gale, who's quickly closed down, and brilliant closing down it was as well, because that's gone for a Stockport throw-in, and all from the hard work of Olin Bailey, who came right across, sprinted to put the Barbadian under pressure, and throw in for Stockport, who, as you can believe, at 1-0 up with 5 minutes to go, are not rushing to take it.
No, well, absolutely not. Use your experience, use your know-how. I'm sure the manager's just said to him, take your time a little bit now and keep ticking off the minutes, tick off the seconds. What you need to do early on this season, just get to that full-time whistle and make sure you've got points on the table.
Bolton ball, Irahan just inside his own half, their side still chasing the game. I'll say 2-2 in the centre circle, little drop of the shoulder to open up space. Sheehan has played out to Gale, shouts of handball from the home fans around us in the main stand. Forced back towards halfway, Stockport have got everybody behind the ball. Here is Sheehan now for Bolton, trying to get between two midfielders, hooked it around low in the end, centre circle for Irahan. Looked out to the right-hand side, played it right out of play over the head of Osei 2-2, and his captain Toll shapes to him to ask him, well, why didn't you play it short?
Yeah, didn't need to play it in the air, did he? Could he just skidded along the surface? I mentioned before, Osei 2-2, he's looked a real live wire since he's come on. I think that'll really please Stephen Schumacher. The substitutes that both sides have made an impact, and that will bode well for the future for these squads. As I mentioned before, they've got very good squads, and these players need game time. Quicker you can get them up to speed, the better it's going to be.
Well, the game time continues next week for these. Stockport away at Wickham. He'll be desperate to get points on the board after going down to Bradford yesterday. Fellow beaten playoff semi-finalists. For Bolton, it's Plymouth at home. They also lost an entry. And then Carabao Cup action the following midweek. Crew will be the visitors here. Bolton, hopefully, hosting Sheffield Wednesday, a club in disarray at the moment. We can only hope the situation improves. And Bolton trying to improve their own situation on the field here with 3.5 minutes of normal time remaining. And they still trail by 1-0. And they have possession halfway inside their own territory with Sheen. Over halfway to McAtee. No challenge on him in the centre circle. Ahead to Cozy Ajubri, who slips there, gives it away, and then in trying to hold up the ball illegally is penalised by the referee, and then he gets a push from Ethan Pye. And the ref is going to have to come across and cool some tempers now, which have been raising through this second half, as frustration for Bolton particularly starts to show.
Well, it just pays in the favour of Stockport. The longer they can just tick the time away, the better it is. The more that these Bolton players are going to complain. It was a foul. Dewberry went to ground. He just caught the legs, didn't he, of Ethan Pye. He's got himself back on his feet. Just having a little word, the referee, with him now. I have to say, mention it again, he's been excellent today, the referee's let the game flow, which we want to see. It's been an end-to-end game of football. Yes, there's been some nice challenges in the football match itself, but that's what we want, Cameron. We want to see the top sides being able to go out and express themselves.
Well, yes, credit to Elliot Bell there. He's been highly thought of in refereeing circles. It's only his third season in the EFL. He's already been promoted to championship games, and he's given us, or he's allowed us, to have a good spectacle here for the neutral. And those of Bolton bias away to our left, still standing to a man and woman and child hoping down the other end of the field that Bolton can get back onto the ball, which they've failed to do, because playing into Stockport hands, the home side have a free kick for a foul on Dodgson, and it just eats up into the remaining 2 minutes and change. They'll have some added time. There have been a few substitutions, but I can't imagine there'll be too much of it. Maybe 4 minutes you might look at, maybe less, as the free kick is set up.
Sorry, Cam, there's also a decision here now, isn't it? We're getting to that point in the game. It looks like they're going to whip the ball into the area, Stockport, from a good position, but are they just going to keep it in the corner? Is it a little bit too early for that? Well, it certainly looks that way.
Corner on the left-hand side for Stockport, 25 yards from the byline. Plenty of options in the middle. Outswinger towards the back post. Headed goal was by Watton, and it's 2-0. And that should be the game wrapped up. Kyle Watton stooping low to head beyond the helpless Teddy Sharman-Lowe. 2 goals, 1 late in each half, and Stockport County, looking to put playoff disappointment behind them, will be starting the new League One season with victory. They lead Bolton Wanderers by 2-0.
Well, first and foremost, it's an outstanding ball in from the left-hand side. I was talking about them keeping the ball in the corner. Absolutely not. But when that ball is whipped in, I think it's Dodgson with the free kick. He puts it into such a dangerous area. But then what you want is your teammates to be brave, to get away from the marker. And Kyle Watton, absolutely full credit. He's dragging his marker, he wants to get in front, he just wants to get that little half yard. He's brave, and he just nods it towards goal, heads it down into the ground, gives the keeper, Sharman-Lowe, absolutely no chance. What a start to the season for Stockport County.
We're into the final minute now, and there's very little doubt. 3 sides of this crowd on their feet and applauding. Goals in the first half from Malik Mothersill, and just now in the second, the dying moments of which, we've nearly been hit by a stray ball. Our local radio colleagues from Bolton Wanderers have taken that right on the laptop, a few yards to our left, and I'm very glad that I wasn't downwind of it personally. So insult to injury for our Bolton supporting colleagues. Their side are 2-0 down, and he might be going down to the computer repair shop in the week. But a late goal to take this one away from the visiting side, and a good goal as well. Danny Andrew it was with the in-swinging ball. As we go into 7 minutes of added time. Now, I didn't expect that. We've had another minute for the goal. I think that's a little generous, and maybe there's a glimmer of hope for Bolton, but in truth, the chances they've made, they've not been taken care of, especially at 0-0 in that first half, where they had a glut of opportunities. Off the post, McXavier Simons. Mario Kozia-Dubry came close as well. But when Stockport have had their chances, they've been clinical, and they're on their way to a win. The first of 7 minutes of added time underway now, as Bolton ready themselves for a throw-in to be taken by Gale. A quick, rapid goal now is surely their only hope of salvaging something in the opening game of Stephen Schumacher's first full season as Bolton boss. High expectations on this team as they come forward down the right-hand side. I'll say 2-2 on the ball for Bolton. Kozia-Dubry helping him out. Still only halfway inside Stockport territory. Randall more central, forward to McAtee, into the area now on the right boot, getting the cross in. Meagre shot of handball, not listened to by the referee. Sheen on the edge of the box, through ball was poor, it went through the legs of its target, Kozia-Dubry, and Stockport happy to clear long and up towards the touchline and make Bolton start again with 90 seconds as the 7 added minutes already elapsed. And the sun really coming out now, as Stockport can look forward to the continuation in this season. Third best last season in the regular term, and they'll be joining the likes of Huddersfield, Cardiff, Luton, Bradford, who started the term with a win. Little you can glean from the table at this early juncture, but a win against a side who expects to be up there and challenging as well. 5 minutes of added time remaining. Kozia-Dubry, corner of the area, looking for anything Bolton can find from this game. Up towards Gale, but doesn't reach him. Headed away. Randall on the edge of the penalty area, helped out by Gale. Sheehan now 35 yards from goal. Cuts onto his right boot, whips across, comes shot into the penalty area, and it never got the spin it needed. It needed some top spin. It's whipped straight out on the full. A dead ball, and it rather sums up Bolton's afternoon.
Yeah, it was a little bit of desperation, wasn't it, from Josh Sheehan? I think he had options out to his left-hand side, and also a couple of midfield players that he could have just laid the ball off to, but 20 yards out, 2 goals down. He's just tried to get his laces through it and got it completely wrong, and Look, I think they've played very well, Bolton, today. I think it's going to improve over the next couple of weeks, without a doubt. They will be up there challenging. I think they've got too much quality on show, and Stephen Schumacher will get it right. But today's Dave Chandler's day, and that makes it no draws in the first day or the first weekend of the season, doesn't it, Cameron? In the whole of League One, which is just incredible.
Some stat, and it bodes well for the continuation. Remember, TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL, and the TalkSport network will be back with live action next weekend from Friday, 8 p.m. Birmingham versus Ipswich in the Championship. That's a TalkSport exclusive. And on a Saturday lunchtime, more action from the Championship as well with Southampton and Wrexham. As Bolton clear their lines, as Stockport push forward, looking for a third, which really would be a perfect finish. Goals late in either half, and there were only 3.5 minutes of added time left, and Bolton 2 goals down. 10,100 the gates, so almost full this place, which they're looking to extend. Stockport County, they want to bring it to 18,000. This old ground with a touch of new about it still, and for the first time we can see some of the seats in the railway ends as the Bolton fans begin to leave in their droves. They know the game is up. Also, don't miss as well, tomorrow night from 6 p.m. we're going to have the Championship exclusive, or the Championship special, I should say, EFL All Access. Hugh Wozencroft, Sam Parkin to take you through that. Quench your thirst for EFL action. As from deep, Bolton will go for what looks like will have to be a consolation now. It's Dacres Cogley, a step or so inside his own half, now in the blazing sunshine. Earlier rain shower forgot him. As the celebrations continue for Stockport, speculative ball forward from Toll, doesn't find its man, stopped by Bailey. Norwood from halfway, slams one down the pitch looking for Lowe. Not able to get up for top speed, it has gone out on the curve though for a Bolton ball. And we'll go back to their goalkeeper, trailing by 2 goals to 0 in the dying stages.
And I also think, if I heard it rightly, Cameron, I've got headphones on, I'm not quite sure, but it came over the tannoy. I think Corey Adai has got man of the match. So it kind of sums up the way that the game's gone. Stockport have been very good, albeit better in the second half. Well, when your goalkeeper's getting man of the match and you win 2-0, then it's kind of saying something, really, isn't it?
Well, here comes Gale. It certainly is, the way that he's had to deal with things down the other end of the pitch, and it can be forgotten in this scoreline that Bolton did look strong for a time. They've got a throw in halfway inside the Stockport half, into the 6th now of 7 added minutes. Stockport leading by 2 goals to 0. Kyle Wootton finishing this game off as we headed into added time. Kozia Dewberry on the ball for Bolton, 35 yards out to the right hand side now he goes. Osei Tutu crossing in, deflected, and that man of the match, Adai, stoops low, gathers, and will hold on to this ball, and he gets a withering look from John McAtee, who had the goal to try and close him down. Stockport cruising to a victory here, did have to work for it at times. 90 seconds remaining, and the goalkeeper with the ball in his hands, and he boots long into the Bolton half as Lowe looks to get underneath this one. In fact, he and Chris Farino let it bounce. Now Farino comes away with it. Back towards Dacres Cogley. Crossfield ball, looking for Kozia Dewberry, trying to slip his way in around Danny Andrew. And Andrew allows that to go for a Stockport throw. The pace has all gone out of the game now. Stockport know the job is done. I think Bolton do as well.
Yeah, it has, and now we can see some empty seats from the Stockport supporters and the Bolton supporters as well, trying to get it away from this stadium as early as they possibly can. And look, it's been an entertaining game. Both sides, I think they've got real quality, I really do, and they will be challenging at the top of the table, but the quality when needed has came from Stockport County.
Sharman Lowe had to deal with a long ball down the park there that was chased down by Odin Bailey. Did well on the half volley, cleared it out upfield. As the clock continues to tick, 30 seconds left, Dacres Cogley was seeing what looked like a routine ball out for a throw, and then he had Nathan Lowe all over the back of him, and it will just be a throw-in. This game petering out to its conclusion after 90 minutes of entertainment at either end of the pitch, as Toll starts again for Bolton. One last chance for a consolation, maybe up to halfway for Kozia Dewberry. Little bright spark for Bolton today. He was fouled. Free kick conceded by Andrew. Bolton starting with Toll in the centre circle, not the start as captain he wanted, because the final whistle has gone. Stockport players raising their arms aloft. They've won this one by 2 goals to 0. New signing Malik Mothersill at the end of the first half, clipping in after a rebounding ball fell his way, and then at the end of the second, after a hard fought game, it was Kyle Wootton stooping low to head in a Danny Andrew free kick. Well delivered and well finished, and Stockport good value for the win. They've beaten Bolton Wanderers on the opening day of the season by 2 goals to 0.
Yeah, really entertaining game of football. two quality sides on show, but Stockport County just had that little added bit of spice in front of goal, and they got their good fortune with the first goal from Mothersill, the deflection from Molly Norwood's strike, but the second one just real quality from Kyle Wootton, a brilliant ball in from Danny Andrew over on that left hand side, and it was Kyle Wootton. He just wanted to get on the end of that cross more than anybody else, and I think Dave Channell would be thrilled to pieces. A clean sheet, 3 points. That's exactly what you want at the start of the season. But Stephen Schumacher will be pleased. Really good performance from his side. I'm sure they're going to get better as the weeks go by. They've got too much quality on show and a really good squad of players, and they will be challenging those player positions come the end of the season as well. But entertaining game of football. Really enjoyed it from start to finish.
Stockport particularly, both sides having made a fair few transfers in this summer. They'll be pleased that one of the old guard, Kyle Wootton, who showed what he was capable of last season, was the man to finish off, but also the man they spent a club record fee on, Malik Mothersill. Ended the first half, he was looking threatening. Right place, right time, as all good forwards are.
Absolutely. I mean, the perfect time to get a goal, wasn't it? 20 seconds before half time, just to take you into the break with a bit of confidence, but come out in the second half, they had to dig deep. Stockport, I thought they improved actually in the second 45 minutes, and they got their just rewards. But that's not to say that Bolton didn't have chances themselves. Look, let's not forget they hit the post twice, once in the first half, once in the second half, and could have easily got something from the game. So overall, excellent.
Well, as Jeff Beck rings out around Edgeley Park on TalkSport 2, talk of silver linings. Bolton do have plenty of positives, as we've said, to take from this one. Good chances in that first half. Xavier Simons rattling the frame of the goal. Another good chance for Mario Koji-Dewberry. Now, he looked a real talent, particularly in the first half. The man brought in from Brighton on loan.
Yeah, real pace, a little live wire, as was Thierry Gale as well, who came off the bench in the second 45 minutes. So the signs are there for Stephen Schumacher, and he's done his homework in pre-season to bring in the players that he wants. This is his team now, and he will get judged, but they need to get back to winning ways, and very, very quickly if they can.
So next up for Stockport County, Wycombe away. So a tough game, and Wycombe desperate to get among the wins after defeat yesterday. Bolton, their search for the first win of the season. We'll see them play Plymouth, who were also beaten yesterday, as we wrap up the final of the League One games. So plenty of action still to come. Don't forget, we've got lots more coming up next weekend too. The Championship is back. Birmingham Ipswich, TalkSport exclusive Friday 8 p.m. kickoff with Adrian Durham, Joe Shannon and the former Birmingham captain Troy Deeney. Then into Saturday, the action continues. Another TalkSport exclusive from the Championship with Southampton versus Wrexham from 12:30. Coventry versus Hull will be on TalkSport 2, and then of course Game Day Live with Adrian Durham from 2:30. Don't miss as well tomorrow 6 p.m. EFL All Access Championship Special. TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Hugh Wozencroft and Sam Parkin will take you through that one. Over on TalkSport right now, the Sunday session with Hugh Wozencroft is about to get underway, bringing you all the latest news and sporting debate. They'll be taking your calls on the action. We've just seen it at Edgeley Park. The number to dial 03717 223344, and you can also send them a WhatsApp voice note with a reaction to the very same number. That's 03717 223344. Stockport have won on the opening day of the season, beaten Bolton Wanderers by 2-0, a game that gave us action all the way through. Coming up next on TalkSport 2, an episode of Upfront with Simon Jordan. You leave us at Edgeley Park. Stockport County, the winners, with goals at the end of the first half of Malik Mothersill and Kyle Wootton late on in proceedings. Stockport 2, Bolton Wanderers 0. As a new season in the third tier kicks off for Stockport County and for Bolton Wanderers, will they remain third tier sides at the end of it? Dacus Cogley now on the angle, edge of the attacking third. Koji-Dewberry shooting, and a good save from Adai to deny. Down goes Diamond, lost the ball for a moment, onto his left foot, shoots into the penalty area. Mothersill, Watson was in there, brilliant defensive block. Norwood deflected and in, and Stockport take the lead right on the stroke of half time. Mothersill is the man taking the plaudits.
He gets the final touch, and it finds its way into the back of the net. What an ending to the first half.
Oh, here go Bolton down the left-hand side, and Conway can see clear air ahead of him. Burstow in the middle, might have a shot at goal. On the angle, left-footed, frame of the goal, rebound, 18 yards, Morley, wide. And that was a chance.
Well, I can't believe it is still 1-0 to Stockport.
Plenty of options in the middle. Outswinger towards the back post. Headed goals by Watton, and it's 2-0. And that should be the game wrapped up. Kyle Watton stooping low to head beyond the helpless Teddy Sharman low. Stockport County looking to put playoff disappointment behind them. We'll be starting the new League One season with victory.
Talksport Breakfast in partnership with Arnold Clark. We guarantee the best used car deals in the UK. Move up through the gears every morning with top of the range sports edition, ABS, story breaking news, and more gold talk to the gallon. Plus a stellar lineup of super celebrity sports guests as standard. Talksport Breakfast every weekday morning from 6 on Talksport with Arnold Clark. We guarantee the best used car deals in the UK.
So, what are you watching at the moment?
Squid Game, Dad.
Let's watch it together this weekend.
That'd be nice. What's it on again?
Netflix. You've got EETV, so you just switch it on.
What season are we up to?
4.
That's Stranger Things, Mum.
And what about the kids?
Don't worry, they'll watch Cocomelon for the 100th time.
Switch on Netflix with EETV. Plus change up sports and entertainment. It's TV with the ultimate flex for the whole family.
EETV requires EE broadband. Separate 24-month contracts for TV and broadband. Content may vary. Terms apply.
That's not simple. That's not simple. Now that's simple. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple, because when life is this complicated, finding a great deal shouldn't be. Great cover, great price, and a great app makes us one of the UK's top choices when comparing car insurance online. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy. For verification, see hastingsdirect.com/verify.
Hello, if there's anyone listening, you should know cigarette butts are litter. Every day, thousands, millions are dropped on the floor, and people don't actually realise that is littering. The duck is not happy. It wants you to bin your butts. Please, for the love of... bin your butts.
Cigarette butts are rubbish. If you smoke, bin your butts. Keep Britain tidy.
The road stretches before you, but there's trouble ahead. Stationary cars. You're faced with the McDonald's side mission. Do you, A, join the ever-growing queue, or B, take the next exit and treat yourself to a glorious Mackey's?
Detouring to McDonald's.
Start your side mission today.
Every emotion and total devotion.
It's game on. This is TalkSport 2.
Hallelujah, the football is back.
Friday night, live championship football. On TalkSport 2, absolutely sensational.
Birmingham City versus Ipswich.
Oh, what about that?
Build up and banter from 7. Kick-off, 8 o'clock, rock.
They're back in front. Friday night,
On frenetic football manifestation.
TalkSport 2.
Yes.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker.
This is TalkSport 2.
Because I don't think there could be a black Simon Jordan.
Why not?
Because you're too opinionated. And if you're a black, you would get slaughtered more than you get slaughtered now. 100%.
Do you think?
And a female. You think you could have a you think you could have a black Boris Johnson? Because of course, we can run, can't we? 1 second. And we can play. And we can sing, can't we? We're entertainers. So until we get rid of that, nothing's going to change. You don't pass the exam on the day you take it. You pass it in your preparation leading up to it.
I agree.
And in football, it's the same thing. We love Messi and Ronaldo, but what we don't see is the Monday to Friday work they put in.
This is up front with me, Simon Jordan. I believe there are a lot of vacuous, uninformed, unchallenged opinions out there. I want to get to the bottom line and cut through the nonsense. So with this podcast with William Hill, I'm going to get people with strong views, strong opinions, and get them to stand them up to proper scrutiny. There's a good chance I might learn something along the way. But more importantly, so might you. Joining me in today's episode, a talented winger who started his career at Watford under the late Graham Taylor before spending a decade at Liverpool, twice winning the title and an FA Cup, playing alongside some of the most revered names in football, experiencing the highest of highs and lowest of lows. He's written books and has strident views on the issues of race and class in the UK today. Mr. John Barnes, welcome to Up Front.
Always a pleasure.
John, in all of these discussions, when I'm talking to you guys, you superstars of sport, I always start from the position of wanting to understand, I suppose, for want of a better expression, what is your why? and where did you come from to go to the journey that you went on? I don't mean necessarily geographically, but I think that's part of an important part of your story. So I suppose we start with that. John Barnes. Where did John Barnes start from to become this footballer that we all know and recognise?
Well, when we look at anybody's journey, faith plays a big part in all our lives and all our journeys. So growing up as a young boy in Jamaica, when I was 12 years old, my father was a colonel in the Jamaican army. He got sent as military attaché to England when I was 12. So it was a 4-year posting. So I'm coming to England as a 13-year-old boy now because my father is going to be the military attaché in England for 4 years. So I'm going to come to England for 4 years. Then at 17, I'm going to go back to Jamaica, probably go to America. Most Jamaicans go to university in America. So it was going to be a 4-year adventure, nothing else. We didn't emigrate. We didn't come here to live. My dad was a diplomat. We lived in Golders Green, Highgate. We lived in Mayfair. We had, my dad and my mother worked in television. So I was coming for a great adventure, having always played football. So I played football growing up in Jamaica.
Right.
As a young boy, when I was 11, I played for the under-16s. I was a good footballer. I would always play football. I love football. I'm going to come to the home of football. I'm going to play football. Then I'm going to go back to Jamaica, play football in Jamaica or play football in America. I never dreamed of being a professional footballer because I didn't think my life would keep me in a country that has professional football.
Right.
And 6 months before the family, in fact, my dad went back. The family are about to go back. I'm playing locally for Sudbury Court in Wembley by Vale Farm, and a taxi driver is driving by. He decides to watch the game. He knows a scout. He tells a scout to come and watch me play. Then 3 months later, Watford said, come and train, and they offered me a contract. And my mum and dad went back before the season even started, so I had to stay with some friends. And at 17, I'm now a professional footballer with Watford, whereby 1 year earlier, I never even thought about being a professional footballer. Although I knew I would always play football in whatever country I was in, I never thought I was going to be in England.
But when you look at it and you talk about the journey that you've been on to get to this space in terms of these are the basic fundamental milestones, but there's also something mentally about you guys that's different. I signed for Chelsea when I was 15. I was in the same team as Michael Thomas, who was a fabulous player, and you will know that because you played against him.
And with him.
And with him, of course, yeah. But there was something for me that wasn't there in terms of the desire to be. I was a good footballer, not like you, of course, but I had, the talent to be a footballer, to be a professional footballer. But I didn't have the real, the switch that you turn to become an elite sportsman and to become a top player.
Yeah.
And part of your background, because your background's different from, I would suspect, a lot of young footballers at the time that you came through. We're now seeing a different generation of footballer. We're seeing a media savvy footballer. We're seeing an educated footballer. When we were younger, and you're a little bit older than me, but when we were younger, most footballers were stereotyped as being thick with no education, no background, and football was only one of their outlets. You don't come from that position. You come from a different position. Your family are educated. You're educated. Your sisters and your other family are, and so are your children, obviously, because of your backgrounds.
Yeah.
But how do you equate a very different sort of background to becoming the footballer that you became?
Well, first of all, when you were there at Chelsea at 15, you were dreaming about being a professional footballer.
Yeah.
And I suppose from your 12 or 13. So even when I was 16, I knew I was dreaming of being a footballer because I loved football.
Right.
I didn't think I'd be a professional because if I go back to Jamaica or go to America, I got offered a scholarship to Howard University. I don't know what degree I was going to do, and I'd play football in America. This is 1980-81. There's no professional football, so I knew I'd always play football. Yeah. But of course, you were thinking about being a professional.
And there you have it, another match done. And I told you guys every time we do a live stream, I'm very sorry that it's been a bit glitchy, this live stream, I'm not gonna lie. Sorry guys, let me just turn the music off. It's been a bit of a glitchy stream, this one. I'm very sorry that it's been a bit glitchy. I've just been so busy. I've been away from my my laptop. But anyway, guys, thank you for all the support today. It's been absolutely brilliant. And I will catch you guys on Thursday. I think it'll be Thursday. Tuesday. No, I think there'll be one. I think there'll be one on Tuesday. Let me just find out if there is. I don't think there is. If there is, guys, get yourself ready for that live stream. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Because I don't think there's going to be anyone on the... Because right now Reading lost yesterday. Very sad. It's not looking good for us right now this season, but anyway, let's just find out what happens. No, there isn't happening on Tuesday, sadly. So guys, we will not be doing any live streams for quite a while until Thursday. Port Vale versus Cardiff. And then after that, I will not be doing another load of live streams until the Premier League. No, then after that, I will not be doing any more live streams for a very long time. But I will look online to see if I can do some live streams. If there isn't any live streams, just keep your eyes peeled onto my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for all the support. We're almost there to 7,000 subscribers already. Not 7,000, should I say. 700 subscribers, should I say. But guys, thank you for all the support. It has been absolutely brilliant. And I will see you all soon enough. And thank you for all the support. Stockport 2, Bolton 0.